secret slice of each pie you stick your knife in and all your sins, stuff you hidden from your wife. They have the pictures you think twice before showing your best friend. The sickness and the lies, denying who you might offend. They know who you pretend to be in front of everyone. Like
oh boy.
things you hide defend. Eyes who see the sun.
I'm shocked, man.
Just begun their one-dimensional.
I just.
Their beliefs are really dumb, and it's
I mean, I saw videos supposedly of Tel Aviv, protests out of Tel Aviv. This shit's scary. You know, and you look at this situation and you see this psychopath that Trump is playing on TV. And you think like what happens if we do that? You know, he doesn't. We've already seen and we've forgotten about ICE killing 2 white people like it was no big deal.
Somehow this crazy clown's the king of when and how Americans speak. These pigs are proud to cheat when kosher bacon's on the line. And tell Haman's allowed to keep his concentration.
Sorry. Yeah, I talking about taking Cuba. What a fucking, what a psychopath. And you know, I could do whatever I want with it. Like, it just, how is this man still in office? How have we as people not revolted against this tyranny, this criminality, this I mean, it's insane. Like, the dude is fucking insane. He's so drunk on power, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. You know, and you can't compare it to, he did like Hitler. That I could tell. He's not like anything we've ever seen before, where he's just like, fuck it, I can do what I want. I'm that guy. I'm him. I can fucking take what I want. He's fucking insane. And you know, he's clearly Netanyahu's bitch. He does what Netanyahu says, but is Netanyahu even still here? The videos keep showing up. The video of him walking through the countryside and shit, that just looked fake to me. But then somebody caught that his ring disappears, right? Then he goes to move his hand and the ring on his hand disappears. And there's like, it's AI. There's always going to be little tells. Somebody's going to go through and watch frame by frame every single, you know, it's going to take a minute to scan every piece of it. And obviously, you know, Grok is saying, yeah, that shit's fake until they patch it. Yeah, it's crazy how no one's talking about the gas prices. Gas prices have gone up like $1.50 since Biden was in office. This is literally the play that they did beforehand, except they didn't even bother doing the full play, where they you know, they dropped the gas prices way down to you know, less to almost $1. Remember Trump's first term when gas prices got down to like $1.25 or whatever the fuck it was? I don't even remember. It was only like a month or two that it was that way, and people just lost their shit. And it was the thing that they, you know, hung their hats on forever. Well, he did lower the gas prices, yeah, for like a blink of an eye. It wasn't like it was good for a long time or anything like that. was, you know, it's just crazy. It's crazy to look at it and be like, you know, this guy he stands to lose nothing. You know, and it's second term, so anytime it's the president's second term, they don't give a fuck. You know, if he does do the unprecedented third term, it's a violation as is. But it's just, it's crazy. It was crazy. I don't know. I don't understand like the short-sighted nature of all of it, right? Like, what does everybody think is going to come from it? Trump dies in the next 10 years. He's gonna die at the very most 10 years. Come on, this guy's not gonna live much longer than that. He's a fat, dumpy, dumbass piece of shit. I don't understand how. You know, there's just so much of it. There's just so much. Like I always say, the revolution we need is not one thing or another. Everybody forget about Greenland because they made you forget about Greenland. You just stop thinking about Greenland because, well, fuck, they done told us to stop thinking about it, stop talking about it, so that's what I do. Why would I be talking about Greenland? Why would I be talking about that stuff? It's fucking nuts. Prices are down? What are you talking about? Prices aren't down? You dumb piece of shit. Gas prices have gone up like $1+ in the last 3 weeks. And it wasn't because of the Iran shit, because it was happening. It started happening before the Iran shit. Gas went up 50 cents overnight, one night. It goes up like 10 cents over, like it's fucking nuts. Countries you'd like to visit, all of them. How long is 180 weeks? 52 weeks in a year. It's only like 4 years, right? A little less than 4 years. So you could feasibly travel to each country, spend a week there, like include travel days, and then spend a week, you know, 1 or 2 days for traveling. Unless you did it intelligently, where you just went from one place to the next. The problem with that kind of shit is, like, you don't really experience something until you're there for a month, 2 months, and you get to just really take it out, take it in. Yep, I'm homeless, for sure. Homeless, driving around in my car with my cell phone, complaining about first world problems. So fucking dumb. I mean, you know, when you look at the way the world is working right now, and you understand that, like, the leadership in place and all the stuff that's happening, and you know that it's not like new. This is all a long play operation that they've they've been doing and orchestrating. And like I just Trump is just a piece of it. But it's like, what are we still waiting for? What clues do you still need before you stop participating in the delusion? Stop participating in the buffoonery. I mean, it's pretty interesting how the church is just silent right now. Where the fuck is the church at? Where the fuck is the church? The church has been uncomfortably silent for a long time. Whenever it comes to the genocide, the church is uncomfortably silent. If anybody in this world could eliminate the pedophile problem, it would be the church. Now, I know that's like the fact that it's a joke just shows you how fucked up things are. But it's like the group with the most power and reach and political shit and pull and all that, like, they should be able to eliminate it. They should have been able to fucking, at the very least, eliminated it out of their shit. Getting funded. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, their existence is completely manufactured. They do nothing. We are safer with Trump as president. What are you talking about? How? Why do people say such dumb shit? What are you basing this on? Is it all the war? You understand that they're on the verge of instituting a draft and they're talking about recession and all that shit because they know they're planning for the 2029 collapse. Maybe it'd be 2030, I don't know. But they're planning for it. They're already talking about it. This bullshit about our gas prices shouldn't be up. How come none of these Jon Stewart truth or how come nobody's running the clips of Trump talking about we have more oil than we've ever had than anybody. We're the number one producer of oil. We have enough resources to last 20 years if necessary. You guys remember all that shit? What happened to that? California is going to get attacked. I mean, that's dumb. California's not going to get attacked. And if California does get attacked, it's because it was allowed to happen. But this is just fear propaganda bullshit. California's not going to get attacked. But I'm much more concerned with. I mean, like, this is where your stupidity comes into play, right? Because you believe Trump actually does shit. Trump actually has power. Trump isn't just a figurehead who reads the speeches he's told to read and signs the legislation he's told to sign, and the Trump presidency is an it's like chapters in a book, like acts in a play. Each act is either 4 years or 8 years long, and I mean, it's just dumb shit, right? Where was Biden for Palestine? He wasn't, because Biden, the number one goal of both presidencies was the Abraham Accords and signing Saudi Arabia into the Abraham Accords. If you're dumb enough to fall for any president, that's the problem. Like, it's funny to hear Trump supporters say all the right things about every other presidency but Reagan. Of course, they love them some Reagan. Trump version 1.0. Like, down to the actor and all that other bullshit. Like, it's so fucking goofy. Oh, we're done. There is Jesus Christ. What are you trying to even say? We're done. Well, who the fuck do you want to run this country? Probably a group of leaders that... Not Jews. That's simple. Not Jews.
But where are the friggin' Epstein tapes? Everything's a conspiracy.
The Epstein tapes. Thing nobody talks about. Everybody keeps talking about these files and mentions in the file. His name was mentioned in the file. Well, his name was mentioned in the file twice. His name was mentioned. Who gives a fuck about the mentions? What about the fucking tapes? What about the tapes?
Telling us their truth.
Right?
Then they say we need improvement when we rebel against
Where they found CDs or DVDs, VHS tapes, and flash drives in all 3 of the Epstein residences they raided, inside the safe, inside the secret control room. And those tapes were labeled with the famous person's name, the victim's name, and how old they were in some cases. Where are the fucking tapes? Couldn't care less about names being mentioned in a file. Like, it's so fucking dumb.
We are unknowingly belong to such depravity is gross, like drinking water from a bong, or like how gravity is a hoax. Since we all know different strokes make different people happy. The show we're shown only shows that ignorance we're masking is the last.
Oh, you're just gonna drive yourself crazy thinking about that. Just take care of your family. How do you take care of your family? Like this, that low-level selfishness is what they've instilled into us, instead of the true selfishness that's needed to make the world a better place. Because true selfishness is saying I want myself, my wife, my children, their children, their children, their children, to live the happiest, healthiest, safest lives they can possibly live. And the only way that can happen is if everyone is living the healthiest, happiest, safest lives they can live. It's just that simple, man. You can't just go, oh, I just want to worry about how? What happens when your family gets attacked? What happens when they cut the shit off and then they have us attacking each other just to survive?
Where are the Epstein tapes? Israel's so disgustingly vile. Where are the Epstein?
If I didn't have kids, it'd be a different story. I'd probably be worse, actually, because I wouldn't have the anchor of the child, the children to, other people's lives I'm responsible for. But it's not even about, like, as much as true selfishness is the key to salvation for everyone, I don't understand how anybody can go, yeah, we started this war by bombing an all-girls school. We, the American side of things, they... I yelled at my wife the other day about that. I yelled at her. I was like, you gotta stop saying we when you're talking about that shit. Because we aren't doing shit. We have nothing to do with it. If it was up to us, things would be different. They are doing it. And so they started this shit by bombing a fucking all-girls school and killing like 175 fucking civilians, innocent civilians. And then Trump tried to lie about it and be like, no, from all of our reports, Iran did it. They're not very accurate. They're not very accurate. They did it. It's fucking insane. You think everything was gonna be peaceful forever? It don't matter who's president. She's going to hit the fan at some point. Again, if that's how stupid you've been raised to be, then their shit's working perfectly. Like, that's exactly how they want people to think. That's exactly the narrative they want people to have. The people would live happily if it wasn't for the government's causing divide. I mean, we need government. There's no doubt that we need government. When you know, the vast majority of people are not capable of necessarily governing themselves. They might be able to take care of themselves, but we need government. Like one of the things people always talk about, like, I love when people post that picture of like the house out in the middle of the woods, and of course that house has all the lights on, and the post is on Facebook. Look, square clouds. Gotta love square clouds. See that? Perfect square. Yeah, no big deal. But like people think that's you know, oh, that's all I need is a house in the middle of nowhere. I could be completely self-reliant. I grow my own food and all this other. No, you won't. We have a big garden every year. We grow tomatoes and zucchini and all kinds of shit, right? I wish we could grow more. And it's fantastic. The tomatoes that come off the plants are so much better than the tomatoes that we buy at the store. Even the organic tomatoes from the store don't taste as good. Our tomatoes have 0 pesticides on them. The only thing they have on them is all the shit that's sprayed into the sky and then settles on them slowly. But, you know, we grow enough to, like, enjoy it, right? You enjoy it. You go out back, you pick some tomatoes, you have a nice tomato salad, you have fresh tomatoes on your sandwiches, and they're great. You know, you're out back, you pick a couple of the grape tomatoes, and you pop those in your mouth. Oh, they're amazing. Everything else is pretty, other than zucchini. Zucchini's pretty easy to grow as well. But everything else is actually a lot more difficult than you think. And I have no desire to have to grow and supply my own food for me and my family. That's literally all you would do all day. You know, the growing and then all that, and then cultivating, and then you have to can it. Who wants to eat just fucking canned vegetables and fruits and shit all year? Ugh. We need, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I love turning the lights on. I do it all the time, and I think back to that Family Guy joke where the old man is like, "Do you see this? When I saw this at the World's Fair, I nearly crapped my pants." You take life for granted, and you don't think about things intelligently. We just don't, like, it's the people running the government that are the problem. It's the friar fucking ownership of our government that's the problem. It's indefensible if you're not part of the death cult. For real. Absolutely. Let's remember whose actions brought about the rise of radical Islam. I mean, the idea of radical Islam is a Jewish construction. Just like the whole 72 virgins thing. Like, I know all of you believe that shit, right? Unless you've been on my feed before, you absolutely believe that Arabs will commit suicide bombing missions for the prize of 72 virgins. Woohoo! You believe that shit. And it's only because the Jewish media machine has told you to believe that shit. It's not real. There's an obscure quote about 72 essences, but in the afterlife, especially in Islam, there is no sex in the afterlife. So what the fuck would you want 72 virgins for? Like, the disgusting sexual aspect of it is taken away by the belief structure itself. I mean, you know, what? Oh, you just want to hang out with 72 virgins all day long? Who the fuck wants to do that shit? But they present it as a sexual conquest thing. That they will get 72 virgins for them to make their own. But that just doesn't exist anywhere. That's not a real thing. What's more than likely happening in all of the suicide bombing situations is either somebody doesn't know that they have the bomb on them. You know, they've been told they're just going to deliver or go make an exchange. This guy's going to exchange backpacks with you like you see on the movies all the time. Or, you know, something like that. Or they tell somebody, hey, look, you know, you're in trouble for this, you're in trouble for that. You know, we're going to either put you to death and nothing comes from it, or you go do this and we'll make sure your family gets $100,000 or some shit. Right? You're already a criminal anyway. What the fuck do you care? You're going to fucking do what it takes to support your family. You weren't raised right, or you would be thinking about something else, obviously. You didn't make good choices in life. That's why, that way you don't have no pension. You ain't got no sense. You don't be making no goddamn sense, no being no going none be thy they. Obviously, you weren't raised right. You don't believe in fairy tales used to commit genocide and rape kids. Don't you know that shit's an act of God? You're not gonna get nowhere. You're not gonna get nowhere. So I'm gonna get somewhere? Are you trying to say I'm gonna go far? I'm gonna go far in this life as long as I keep talking about politics? Now that level of stupid, you're not going to get anywhere with that level of stupid. Oh, I forgot. Crusades happened 1,000 years ago, big dog. Did they? Is that what you're told? Is that the narrative that you've said? Oh, that's the real one. That's the truth. I believe in crusades.
You're a big dog.
Apparently.
You're big yellow banana today.
I got the banana suit on.
Oh my goodness.
Fit check. Boom. Boom. Banana man. Want to peel me?
Tough exterior, but nice and soft in the middle.
All right. What's up? Mind if I hop in? Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't bring anybody on. We have to get a lot further than that before that happens. If I haven't brought Karen on, what changed in the last 100 years? Nothing. Nothing. There haven't been any significant changes to the world in the last 100 years.
Sweetheart. Right there, look.
What?
It's a television.
No, they had those flat screens.
Yeah.
100 years ago. Look yeah.
Ceiling fans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that, but flat screens for sure. Don't tell us, tell your kids and family. Oh my God, you're a hater and a racist. Who am I a racist against? Ooh, I'm always interested in that comment. Who am I racist against? Go tell your family this, not us. We don't give a fuck. So why are you on my feed then? You fucking moron. I want to watch you talk, but I don't want to watch you talk about this.
I don't like you. I don't like you. I like you. I like you. I don't like you. I don't like you. I like you. I like you.
Go
You're
to
like a cat.
right. I was just thinking the same thing. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go to the police station and tell them and make a report. Oh yeah. Let's go do that.
About
God died in 1990. I'll go. What's up there, guy? Oh, yep. Every day whining. Every day. This time he says 3 likes because I have 13 viewers this time, so he can't be like, 6 viewers. So he's going to go with 3 likes. Yep. Like, share, sub. Yep. I'm that evil motherfucker who thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the Friar piece of shit control scheme that has most of you really stupid. Why are you so boring? Cause
why are you watching?
Right. I guess if I was like fucking with a child, you'd really like that or something. Is that what you're more looking for? Kind of weird. You're being racist right now. Against who? Who keeps? What is this racist shit? I'd love to hear this racist shit. What is the racist part? Guy is definitely in the SS. You don't really think that exists anymore, do you? Like, you know that's not a thing anymore, right? Right? Gotta get this crack. Enjoying my daily crack intake. Oh, man, this crack, all right. That should be enough. Yep, all the crack. All of the crack, all the time. And let's just say it was crack. Let's just say I was smoking crack, right?
I'm lying.
First of all,
It's pretty
I have a lot of crack. I mean, I smoke a lot of crack. Like that, I must be rich as fuck. But secondly, shouldn't I then be a crackhead and be easy to defeat in some sort of argument?
I wouldn't think he'd make much sense.
Right, you would think, especially with all of this crack. But third, even if I did smoke all of the crack, does that take away from the genocide that's happening and being brought to other parts of the world because of the Jews? Does that take away from the children being raped all over the place, both inside the church and, outside? Like, is that? Does anything I do worse than that? Now I bullied you in high school. Oh shit! Who are you, Bob 9000? I hope I bullied you. I wouldn't care about your life either way. Obviously, you care a great deal about me and want my attention. Based on your thoughts, it's definitely crack. Yeah, only crackheads think we should kill pedos and overthrow you piece of shit friars. The best part is this guy's Jewish, right? So this guy is going to be the epitome of the embarrassing, inbred, arrogant, stupidity that I'm always talking about. Oh, I bullied you when you were in 4th grade, says Danny. Ooh, I was a pretty big bully back then. 4th grade, you know me. What 4th grade did we go to? If it makes you feel better, this guy was miss her, and I'm quite sure if someone hurt him. Oh, here we go. Because the only way you could ever be opposed to pedophilia is if someone victimized you. Otherwise, what the fuck do you care? Right? Isn't that how that works?
You guys must not have any young children in your lives, whether it's kids, nieces, nephews, grandkids, whatever.
I never needed any of that shit. I mean, I had it, I guess. I grew up with family around, but there's just nothing as a child, what's attractive about a child?
Nothing. It's gross.
I don't understand. They don't even have, I say this all the time, but when I was a kid, I remember, being like, why do I want to be boyfriend and girlfriend with a girl in elementary school or whatever? It's not like we were doing anything. The most that would happen was like a handhold or a little kiss. So it's not like there's anything going on. But to me, I was like, they don't have any boobs. Like I can't wait for boobs. I could not wait for boobs when I was growing up. That was my, woohoo. I just don't understand how you don't have that same sensibility about you. What are you not seeing when it comes to boobs? Have you seen boobs? All you dumb broads out there that get tattoos on them, stop it. Our country is fucked up. Our country is fucked. Grow up, everybody. LOL. Get a job and focus on your people and quit trying to wake up a community of self-sabotaging weirdos. Anyways, laughing faces, same. What the fuck is this guy even talking about? I love when people come to a feed and be like, why do you care about what other people are doing? Blah, blah, blah. Dude, you're here crying about what we're doing. But we're not supposed to talk about what other shit is happening? Do you not get the irony in how stupid you sound? You're going to tell someone else that they should stop talking about things and worry about their own life. Worry about your life. Shouldn't you worry about your life and stop worrying about someone talking about something that you clearly don't, I guess, have any sort of understanding of? I mean, I don't know. I would imagine, I always think, if you're a decent, realistic, good person, these conversations shouldn't be foreign or avoided. we should be having these. You should be encouraging people to have these conversations. The more people having these conversations, the more likely we are to fix the situation, to fix the problem. I mean, look at this shit. Look at this dumbass shit, right? Crack. Again, all of this is because I think we should kill. Are you mad about the kill pedos part or the Jews part? I assume it's both, but which one are you going to say it is? We just don't care. We already know it's wrong. People just trolling your small brain. Your small brain asses. He capitalized it, so I thought it said Brian. I was like, did you really put Brian? You capitalized brain. Just the B. Again, I love when you say you don't care. So I just, it's such a weird little, maybe it's a pet peeve of mine, or maybe I'm just a weirdo because of it. But if you don't care, why are you here? Seems wrong, right? He was talking about when he was a young kid and he was touched by his father. Now, like, again, who the fuck do you think is going to make jokes like that? Let's see, that person joined 4 years ago, has no subscribers. The law person joined 13 years ago, has no subscribers. Who do you think these people are? Do you think maybe these are the act.io, Israel Hayom, or Team Jorge type profiles? You think this is the bot farm that we're always talking about? All these people getting assigned this feed right now? Don't you think it's kind of strange? Because if you ask any of them, hey, it is kind of weird that you're here. 8:30 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and you're just here crying about something somebody does that you clearly watch a lot. Like you clearly watch a lot of me. And you're crying and begging for attention and all that. And then when given the floor, you just end up saying dumb shit. Like, what's going on here, guys? And you're not going to get an answer. They won't answer the question. Strange as shit, right? I mean, I can answer that question for you. I can tell anybody exactly what's going on here. And it makes sense. The Team Jorge angle, the act.il Rise app angle, it makes sense. It's what they do. This is Israel's calling card. Attacking from an anonymous or inconspicuous place, hiding your identity, hiding your face, hiding behind soldiers, hiding whatever. But this is the Israeli special here. Because you ask them to elaborate on any of the shit they're saying, any of the dumb shit. Elaborate on any of the dumb shit they believe in. Anything other than come through and just sort of cry. Just sort of cry. Tell me I should talk about other things, or I'm not allowed to say this, or whatever. Ask any of them why they're here. They're not going to tell you. Oh, we're here because you're just so entertaining. Oh, ow, ooh, ow. I know nothing's more fun than having somebody call out your pedophile nature, huh? Interesting. Oh. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Now they're saying couch things. Interesting how that works. Israel will bring heaven on earth. It's biblical prophecy. Which one? People like you always say dumb shit like that, but then you don't have any sort of backing for that. It's just some dumb thing you say. Having the same thought process you're having, Y-O-U-R having. Fuck my life. IDK about people. IDK or IDC bout it. People matter, but wasting your energy on narcissists shows you ain't ready to combat those people. Okay, inked up Jesus.
Inked up Jesus. No, really? No.
Oh, you must not know your Bible very well.
You're lying.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, you're totally lying.
Inked up Jesus.
No.
That lady sounds pretty overweight in the background, sir. She's fucking huge. She's huge. Why do you think her nickname's Fat Girl, Chubby, shit like that? She's huge. She's yeah. No, she's a big fat ass.
Oh my gosh, I'm so fat.
And she's dumb. Fat and dumb.
Really dumb.
He's definitely no stranger to the crystal, says Joey the pedo.
The crystal?
Joe
We
Pedo.
got lots of crystals.
Joe Pedo's here. This guy has all but admitted being a pedo.
Speaking of which, I think I left my. Thank you. I think I left my crystal at.
Oh, I thought you were like speaking of Joey being a pedo. Yep. Mr. Living Room Poverty. Dude, I'm on your side. Quick critiquing my dumb spelling. I know my place. I'm not affected by small understanding people because I don't care for people not. Because I do care, bro, for people not me. These people are trying to get under skin. Oh, for sure. For sure. And it's hilarious. Like, I don't, if I'm Christy Moreno and I'm getting upset about it, that's one thing. For me, I love this because it's validation. Nobody is going to come through here and be like, you're right, guy. We're a bunch of pedos and we're really scared of you winning the presidency in 2028. No. They're going to come through and do a bunch of dumb shit. And every single comment that doesn't address what I'm saying, that isn't like, yeah, man, fuck these pedos. We should kill them all. Fuck these friars. Their shit's insane. Let's overthrow these friars. Anything that doesn't address the main issues being talked about is an admission of guilt. If they're going to make shit up about what I'm doing in the video, or whether they're paying attention to the video, but they're not acknowledging the things being said, and instead they're trying to trash the person that thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the Jewish control scheme, who the fuck do you think that's going to be? When it comes to censorship and shit like that, you've never seen anything like this before. This is grassroots. This is me trying to override a much more powerful system on the system. They gave me this platform. Like it's an impossible journey, but I absolutely do right by my family by doing this. Because if I don't do this to you guys, I'm going to do it to them. And they don't want it. You should believe me, Mr. Whitney. Well, I don't think you should believe me. I think you should look for yourself. If anything, I hope I get you questioning things. That's all. Shit, I hope the things I'm questioning can be answered by. I hope you come through and answer my questions. You know, this isn't a one-way street here. I'm learning, man. It's all about learning. You've been crying the whole time in the car, sobbing. Was sobbing.
Crying in the car.
Oh yeah.
What happened in the car, baby?
Now, Pedo Joey is saying I'm an Iranian shill. Ooh.
Yeah, you look so Iranian.
Yeah. When did I become an Iranian shill? You've been here long enough that you didn't run with this. But this is what they do. You know, before they would be like, ISIS, you're part of ISIS. You know, they always, you're Hamas. They always do that kind of shit.
One facial feature that looks Iranian.
Iranian shill. Here's people's side of it. Hear people's side of it, then give feedback. But thinking I'm a troll frustrates me because I'm being legit with you, not faking it to make it. Okay, but you see what's happening in the feed, right? So with simple observation, you could understand my trepidation when it comes to the infiltration of each segmentation of the elaboration of the Goyim nation. You don't got the answers. Yes, I don't got them. He's not crying while crying about Israel for hours. Yeah, again. So, are we saying crying in a like literal sense, or are we saying figurative?
I think they're saying you're crying.
Right, because I'm, I don't believe in Israel. Israel doesn't exist. Israel is a construct that we're given to hate, just like Zionism. You're supposed to hate those things. Those are the boogeymen.
You just left.
But I clearly repeat myself over and over and over and over and over again that it's not Israel. It's the friars. Look at this one. Look at this one. Sweetheart. You're, Y-O-U-R, probably frustrated because spelling is hard.
I don't know how you tolerate it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
No, stupid.
It's so fucking funny. Well, I mean, to me, it's like, that guy that's like, fuck yeah, I can jump over that creek. I can jump over that creek. I can do it with my eyes closed. You're a pussy. You can't do it.
Yeah, the first time it's funny. After that, it just becomes irritating.
No, I could watch that guy jump in the creek over and over again. You know what, dude? You almost made it. Try again. You absolutely would be laughing your ass off. And you would laugh your ass off every single time he tried. Especially, it'd be one thing if he was doing it for the laugh. But if he was doing it like serious. No, fuck. All right, fuck. Okay, maybe if I like wind my feet up before I start going. And then I'll go faster. And he's trying all these different things. You would be rolling on the floor laughing. It's the seriousness of it, right? It's I'm going to get him on this one. Let me type. All right, let me read it. All right. You're probably frustrated because spelling is hard. Yeah, this is going to get him. Click. Like, that shit is so... Mwah. And then that moment when he realizes that I caught him, and he goes, oh, fuck. Fuck. Like, on any comment to comment that on, to get it, it's not just like saying you're stupid and getting it wrong. You're actually like, you're stretching this out. You're probably frustrated because spelling is hard. Oh, oh, that is delicious. That is delicious, especially since that's that friar Jewish, that's that superiority right there. Those super superior friars. Oh, it's so fucking great. Let's see. You think Israel deserves this? Oh, I think Israel deserves so much worse. So much worse. Wipe it clean. It's like a dry erase board. Just get them the fuck out of there. It the opportunity has long been there. You've long had the opportunity to say, hey, wait a minute. It's kind of fucked up. Maybe we should stop doing this. I don't necessarily support this anymore. Nobody has to actually say it to you. Okay, after everything, now that things look really, really bad for you, do you agree that you gonna leave that shit behind and come on and be on the winning side? Or do you still want to be on the loser side? Of course they're gonna say they want to be on the winner side. They're gonna lie. One of my friends lost their homes. Oh, right, that's amazing. That's amazing. You mean the home that he stole from somebody else? That home? Why is this so coffee?
Most people don't know that.
Drinking tea.
Most people don't know that.
Don't know.
That they got to go and steal homes. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, but that's on you.
No, it's because it's not fed to them like everything else is.
It's not hidden. It's not hidden. And it would be one thing if you say, I don't really have an opinion on this because I don't know. But it's the arrogance that comes through and, oh, that's not what's happening, or or to
If
even
that
say
was happening, you would think that would be a top story, and because it's not, well, then it must not be happening.
Okay,
People think.
sure, but everybody knows who controls the news. Whether you,
I think you give people too much credit. I really do.
you know it, you've heard it before, you know the stereotype and all that. It's pretty obvious if you just look. I mean, literally, we're in the Epstein era of things.
You're so smarter than most people, sweetheart.
Sure, but I think people have heard this stuff. They've all heard it. Whether they accept it all, that's one thing. But they've all heard it. So there's it's going to take work and everything like that. But again, if you're going to have an opinion on the thing, then you should look into the thing. I don't sit here and talk about North Korea, South Korea relations. Okay, but you know that. You already know that. Like, you watch what? One news channel?
CNN.
Yeah, you watch one
CNN.
One source.
That's the real news.
That's
what people think.
If you think that watching one source is all it takes, then cool. But if you watch CNN and you get all your shit from CNN, then you understand that Wikipedia falls into that same category, right? Wikipedia is the official #1 source of information in the world. So if you're going to put all your faith into CNN, then me, showing you what Wikipedia says, you shouldn't have any real problems with that, especially when that stuff is on a locked up page. Cat butt. Belch.
Yeah, I don't know what he's smelling.
He's just weird. I literally had to come back to the States. Yeah, that's too bad. You're right, shaking your head. I wish you wouldn't have. The less of you here, the better. Joe's like, I couldn't stay in my terrorist regime area because I was scared that they were finally fighting back. And, you know, I don't like when they're fighting back. It's beautiful to watch such an arrogant, disgusting, immature, ignorant, just awful, like, group finally start getting their comeuppance is great. You don't like your name? No, your name's dumb. Jesus is dumb. Jesus, I'm gonna skip through the end. I don't feel like going through all the comments. So, from what I saw in Israel, America pretty much betrayed us. Shaking my head. Honestly, Samson option looking good. There you go. So see there. So you say most people don't know about the Samson option, right? They do. They do. And the way they know it is because of things like the secure community network. If they all know about the Samson option, they all know what Matitza is. They all know about soul correction and the bottom of darkness and all that other shit. But the best part about the Samson option is it's based in fantasy. That's the good part, right? Because the Samson option, well, fuck it. You know what? Let's go full on educational here. What the fuck? We were on Gulf War. We're in Epstein tapes. Let's just start with Epstein tapes. Fuck it. All right, so we're gonna look up Samson, and it's not a Sampson, dumbass. Of course, he gets it wrong, but oh wait, we've got more coming through. You are not very intelligent, are you, buddy? Nope. Me's just a dumb goyim, right? You'd think you'd be better at doing this if that was the case, but hey, whatever, keep going. Oh, look. Obviously, I'm schizophrenic, says the person I've called a Jew since his first comment. I said, oh, look, there's a front. You could just tell by the way they comment. Oh, look, now he's running with schizophrenia because I'm clearly hearing voices, right, and hallucinating. What was that? What was that? Yeah, I always say that because I'm not hearing anything. So I just said, what was that? Just in case a voice wanted to talk to me.
It's because your ears are getting bad.
Oh, maybe that's it.
You listen to music too loud.
That's it. Boy. Buddy boy, I'm coming for you. Best be looking over your shoulder at all times. Oh, yeah? Ooh.
Just make sure you're prepared for a 200-pound dog.
Ooh. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Again, you have to ask yourself, what would be somebody's motivation? They're literally like, I don't like the words that you're saying to the 14 people that you're talking to on Facebook or on YouTube. If I was wrong, if I wasn't some sort of threat, why would anyone even bother? Why is Israel assigning, directing so many fake profiles here to try to do this same dumb shit all the time? If I'm wrong, why not just why not just ignore it, or why not come and say, hey dude, you're wrong about this. Let me explain it to you so you don't keep making that mistake. Or tell me what I can look up so you don't even have to explain it. Oh, I think he was talking to not me. Oh, to Ryan? That's awesome. Good job, Glenn. Figure it out. I encourage you to figure it out. Anybody here that's supporting pedophilia and all that, they're pedophiles. Nobody supports pedophilia and isn't a pedophile. You know, they have shit on their phones, on their computers. You know, they have the evidence. You just have to find it. Hey, you're throwing this on. I'm one of your cigars, bro. Ha, wow, dude. Literally taking a dab and coming back to you saying that shit. Assholes. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, dude. You're wrong. Hey, you got the you're wrong right on this one. Good job, dude. You're learning. Man, too bad they took you out of regular school at such a young age, huh? Spelling is hard. That's the guy that said spelling is hard. You're frustrated because spelling is hard. It's so fucking brilliant, man. So good. I'm so grateful that you actually take time out of your day to come here and be like, hey, guy's not wrong. You know? We're literally this fucking stupid. Seriously. Look, you want another example? Like, here you go. It's brilliant. I know that's who it was. That's what I just said, you dumbass. Good God. Anyway, the Samson option is a deterrent strategy of massive retaliation. Oh, by the way, before the criers start crying, completely locked up YouTube page. Nobody can edit anything. Massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort against any country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel. That's so key in that, right? The and or, because they're saying if their country, if much of it been invaded and or destroyed. Well, invasion, you could just claim that, multiple groups of two people, one person came in from different places, and that's an invasion, mass scale invasion. And with that, they now have their Samson option. They have new medications for schizophrenia. I think we should send you to Israel. There is no Israel. We'd send them to Palestine, but that would just be like, sending a pig to some shit. I think we should send them to, once we kind of go through their shit. Like, if we go through their shit and they have all sorts of pictures and links and ties and all, well, then they just get executed. But if they pass the test, then we send them to the Jewish Autonomous Oblast and let them try to figure it out from there. Look at these dumb comments, right? They got nothing to say. There's nothing they can say. Investigating Lawrence King, coffee-colored man, the cream, about to rise and dance and sing. The term was popularized by Seymour Hersh's 1991 book, The Samson Option, Israel's nuclear arsenal and American foreign policy. It was popularized by that term, or by that book, but it had been called the Samson option for decades before that. They called it the Samson option. Seymour Hersh just exposed it. And if you know Samson, it's funny how they always do that, right? The most badass was the Jewish guy, Samson. He was kidnapped. So the story of Samson is often told as he was kidnapped by the Philistines. They chained him up into the temple by his arms, chained to the fucking wall, chained to the pillars. And in a last-ditch effort to cause as much grief as possible, he pulls the pillars down and pulls the building on top of the Philistines, killing a bunch of people and all that in the process. And the thing is, they always leave out the fact that he was kidnapped because he had slaughtered a bunch of people. He was a piece of shit. He was a typical friar piece of shit. Right. It's fucking crazy, right? Spend time with your kids. Oh, yeah, because it's not like they're at school or anything. Dumbass. Commentators have also employed the term to refer to situations non-nuclear. The name is in reference to the biblical Israelite judge Samson, who pushed apart the pillars of a Philistine temple, bringing down the roof and killing himself and thousands of Philistines who had captured him. Samson. Samson, come quick. Samson, it's Sheila. Mama failed. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Samson, I had quit smoking weed. I made it like 2-3 weeks. And then that movie came out. And me and my buddy went and saw it. And we were like in a contest to see who could go the longest. We watched that movie. And we were like, oh my God, we got to get stoned and go watch that movie. Which was stupid, because once you watched it sober, you already knew it. You know, watching it the second time was pointless. But they have a job to do. They're here to get points. Right? A childlike recap of the Samson story. That was a very childlike recap of the Samson story. Oh, yeah? What's a better recap? Other than it's fake. Did I forget to leave out that it's all fake, dumb nonsense? It's all fake as shit. Stupid. Yep. Glenn's my boyfriend, alright. Samson was the last of the judges of the ancient Israelites mentioned in the book of Judges, chapter 13 to 16, and one of the last readers who judged the 12 tribes of Israel before the institution of the monarchy. He is sometimes regarded as an Israelite version of the popular Near Eastern folk hero archetype, also embodied by the Sumerian Gilgamesh and Enkidu, as well as the Greek Hercules. Samson was given superhuman powers by God in the form of extreme strength. Go figure, the Jewish version is just a cheap copy of everyone else's. What a surprise! What a surprise! Isn't it amazing? Look at these dumb comments. Again, guys, if I'm wrong about anything, why aren't they addressing what I'm wrong about? Why are they seemingly so afraid to engage? Should be easy to do, right? I'm wrong about all this shit. The biblical account states that Samson was a Nazarite, Nazirite, a Nazarite. God, that seems like I've heard a similar word before. A Nazarite. No fucking way, man. In the Hebrew Bible, a Nazarite or Nazarite is an Israeli man or woman who voluntarily took a vow, which is described in Numbers 6:1 through 21. This vow required a Nazarite to abstain from wine and strong drink, as well as other grape products such as vinegar, refrain from cutting the hair on his head, not to become ritually impure by contact with corpses or graves, even those of family members. Some weird fucking vows. Some weird fucking vows. After following these requirements for a designated time period, which would be specific to the individual's vow, a Nazarite would offer a specific animal sacrifice. Go fucking figure. These crazy fucking friars have something else that involves killing something. Just kill, 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 kill. Along with it, the Nazarite's hair was to be shorn and burned. Thought they weren't supposed to cut their hair. Is they not supposed to cut their hair after this? They cry and justify their incestuous decision to violate. Nobody should be believing tea goes twice for Christmas. We are literally the Jews from the Bible. Nobody should believe that? I agree. You're fucking dumb. A Nazarite is described as being holy and holy unto God, yet at the same time, he or she must bring a sin offering. This has led to divergent approaches to the Nazarite in the Talmud and later authorities, with some viewing the Nazarite as an ideal, as others viewing the Nazarite as a sinner. So fucking ridiculous. Their shit is so like just silly and it's crazy that people would ever want to be a part of something so like goofy and then gross and all these different aspects of it that are just awful, right? Captain Complainer. He cries on the things he doesn't even understand, and yet dumbass Joey, who apparently understands them, can't seem to explain them or even address what's being said. Haven't heard Joey attempt to address Matitza yet. Why is Joey such a Matitza supporter? Why is Joey a bottom of darkness dweller? Why does he think it's all an act of God? Why doesn't Joey hate soul correction? Why isn't Joey reaching, screaming out to protect the Jewish children? What understanding does Joey have when it comes to raping children for transcendence and redemption purposes? As well as, the Matitza part. What understanding do you have that makes all of that okay? Now, we know the rabbi character thinks raping children is an act of God, so he's bragging about the fact that he's going to rape a child right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was, right? Look at them. This is what they do. Who makes pizza jokes? Who makes pedo jokes even a little bit other than pedos? Right? Only pedos think pedo jokes are funny. And the rabbi character, again, identifying as a rabbi, thinks pedo jokes are hilarious. At the very least, he thinks pedo jokes are hilarious. Probably goes much worse than that. I'd be willing to bet it goes much worse than that. But look at this shit. Look at these sick pieces of shit. This is how they operate, man. And it's that arrogance, it's that insanity that's going to lead to their downfall. You know, soon enough, we'll be able to out who they are. We'll be able to figure out who these profiles belong to. Trace them and out them. It won't take long. What do you think? You think they got 10 years, maybe? If that? I wouldn't say that. 2 possibly. Maybe 3 or 4. And as soon as we get to that position to where we can just eliminate all of these pedophiles, imagine how much better the world's going to be, like, in so many different ways. Right? So many different ways. So many of the corrupt people that run shit, the Netanyahus of the world, you know, the Itmar Ben-Gavirs, the Donald Trumps of the world, all these people are gone. They're less, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands less, millions less people in the world. I mean, don't we always cry about population problems? We could absolutely, you know, figure out, Oliver, close off what's happening. We could absolutely figure out what's going on with, we could figure all this out. We could, you know, we could definitely solve a lot of population problems by eliminating pedophiles. And you know, this is just because I have a lack of understanding, right? According to one of these people who have told you, outs himself as a pedo consistently. Because he just did it again. You know, guy just talks about things he doesn't understand. Well, let me understand it, man. There's obviously a lot of friars on here right now. If you're watching, like, share, sub, help out. But why aren't they telling me what I'm wrong about? Yeah. People say dumb shit like, oh, that's just old stuff. That's just ancient text. Really? Because I know places like Lakewood and Curious Joel and countless other little communities all over Huntington Woods, Michigan. Countless little communities, they abide by Talmudic law. Are you telling me that they abide by all of the Talmudic shit but that? It's not, he's making jokes, but rather you having stereotypes so a Jew can't even talk about pizza. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. So when we're talking about how you guys rape children, the best thing to do in that situation is to make pizza jokes, because that doesn't out you. Like, when is the fact that you're like, it's just jokes? Who makes pedo jokes? To sit here and then play stupid and be like, no, I just brought that up out of the blue. You didn't. You didn't. And I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate the stupidity that, like, none of you, it's dawned on you, like, hey, wait a minute, maybe, you know, we're making this way too easy for this guy. Yeah. Like, we're giving this guy way too much ammunition. Mm-hmm. Look at these fucking comments. Look at them crying. I love when they pretend like they're actually saying something. Like I'm avoiding some some like some definitive statement or some enlightening piece of text. They don't say shit. They just if I'm wrong, it should be easy to do. I know if you're watching this in the afterwards, you might not be able to see the comments. So that's why I read them and then respond so you can understand just how stupid all of this is. Let's see, here we go. Here comes really smart Joey. I'll take a bite of some pizza proudly because that's a racist stereotype. The people you are trying to attach to people like me, which is disgusting and speaks a lot of his character. Yeah, it's a racist stereotype. There's no denial that comes out of this guy. He's not saying that's awful. I really take offense to that. I don't do that. I think we should kill pedos. I hate that there's so much pedophilia associated with Judaism. We need to fix Judaism for it to have such a stereotypical perception about it everywhere. But it is interesting how the Jew tries to take ownership of Pizzagate. Like Pizzagate, that shit encompasses a lot more than just them. But apparently, he's sort of letting you in on a little bitty secret there. It's much more to do with them than anything else. And I mean, again, nobody makes pedo jokes. Nobody just loves pizza so much that they go on random feeds where people are talking about killing pedos and whatnot. It's just so they can, hey, I just love pizza so much. Let me just say that. Like, that's just not how that works. And I appreciate your stupidity in this. I appreciate that you're dumb enough to be an example here. There's no way to talk yourself out of it. You're never going to make it sound like you're just casually dropping fucking pedo references. Nobody does that shit but you guys. And I appreciate it, right? I appreciate it because you make it so much easier this way. Is there any evidence of what? Which thing are you asking? Think I believe the prodigal of Zion is true. Are you telling me about what I believe now? Is that what we're doing? Is there any evidence of what I'm talking about? I'm so glad you asked. So, Israel Hayom is Israel's number one free propaganda, distributed to the people for free everywhere in the country. The largest readership of any daily paper. It's free. It's Sheldon Adelson, Miriam and Sheldon Adelson. Sheldon's dead, but still keeps going. Like, this is as legitimate as it gets, right? Israel Hayom is a top news outlet in Israel. And this is an article from April of 2025. It's so much easier to just... Let's just have Grok tell you, because it's just easier. Grok summarizes it well. Can you give me a really deep... No, you know what? Because it's going to put all of the dumb shit in there, like, oh, this is just... It's going to try to make it sound like it's a much smaller problem than it is, but... So I'll just do it myself. Bottom of darkness. Children raped in ritual ceremonies expose the horrors. Multiple women recount organized abuse, including ritual ceremonies conducted by people they knew, even close family members. After months of interviews with victims, their families, treatment professionals, and experts in Israel and abroad, a disturbing picture emerges with descriptions difficult to read. Right? Now he's saying, why isn't he talking about Islam? Talk about something else. Why don't you talk about something else? No, don't read this article. Oh, come on, don't talk about this. We don't like when you talk about this. Talk about Islam. Remember, they're the dirty Muslims. Remember? Why did you say something, dummy? They're the dirty Muslims. You're supposed to hate the Muslims. Don't read this. This is bad. This makes us look bad. This makes us look bad. This makes us look like we're a pedophile cult. And I can't use the same things I always do to hide. I can't be like, oh, well, oh. I can't just be like, oh, that's anti-Semitic propaganda. You know, normally they hide behind that. What you're saying is anti-Semitism. That's anti-Semitic. It's anti-Semitic propaganda. Stop it. Right? It's really important that you understand how fucked up that is. So let me just show you something. This is something I always got to show you firsthand. Just because I know how cowardly you guys are. Karen, what's up? Okay, so first we're going to go with Semitism definition. We're going to go down to the Merriam-Webster version, right? Merriam-Webster's.
Good morning.
Morning, Bob.
I'll be right down. Hang on.
Number 1A, Semitic character or qualities. Number 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to Jews.
Semitism.
Right? It's the Semitism page. Merriam-Webster. Semitism. Semitism. Policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Policy being rules and regulations. Here, talk for a second, please.
Hi, y'all. Oh my goodness. Sorry, he shifted gears right quick. And I'm folding clothes, so. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Holy cow.
Alright, so thank you, appreciate that.
No problem. They folded some clothes with me. Oh.
So Semitism is policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Okay? Policy, meaning the rules, the regulations. You know, every year they have the AIPAC Policy Conference, which is attended by more government officials than any other one event every single year. Nothing else but the State of the Union. The State of the Union, they're required to go to, so they go to it. Outside of that, nothing else brings more government officials together like the AIPAC Policy Conference, where they are treated like royalty for a week, a weekend, whatever, a week. And they're told what to do and think and say and blah, blah, blah. And in 2016, both Hillary and the Dump were guest speakers while they were campaigning. They took a week off to go speak at the AIPAC Policy Conference, where they were both like headline speakers, and neither one trashed the other one. And all they did when they were there was praise Israel and pledge their allegiances to Israel. Yeah, policy, that's policy. That AIPAC Policy Conference. That's how important policy is for those that might want to try to discount or downplay the significance. Policy or predisposition. And as fucked up as policy is, predisposition is if your mom's family all has cancer, dies from cancer, doesn't matter how you live your life, there's a really good chance you're going to die from cancer. You have a predisposition to cancer. Something about your family is cancerous and is meant to die off early. And if you don't, it's considered like a holy shit kind of thing. So policy is the manufactured rules, regulations, laws, and all that shit. Whereas predisposition is the genetic memory, the genetic programming. On a genetic level, you show your genetic favoritism is towards the Jews. Nobody else has a word like that. There's no word like that for Islam, Christians, black people, Any other word like that is usually like supremacy. So you would say like black supremacy. White supremacy is to say all of the rules and regulations and everybody's thoughts deep down before they can even think them should be favorable to us. That's a really supremacist way of looking at things. So Semitism is just that. It's supremacy. It's them demanding supremacy from us. And it tells you a lot. It's why you never hear them say, oh, that's anti-Jewish. You ever notice that? Or if they do, they'll say that somebody was doing anti-Jewish and anti-Semitic or anti-Semitism. They include them. Because they're not one and the same. It's one or the other. And the thing is, the reason why they don't say anti-Jewish, which would actually be a more powerful statement, right? Most people don't know what Semitism is. If you said anti-Jewish, people are like, oh shit, that's like saying anti-Christian, that's sort of a big deal. Why would you like hide it? Why would you hide behind what that, a different phrase altogether? And it's because that phrase was initially coined in the 1880s, I believe. And it was in reference, it was in Germany, because it was what we exist in now. And obviously supremacist regime had taken over. And you can see it with the world wars and all that shit. It's all connected. But anti-Semitism was initially meant to be anti-policy or predisposition favorable to them. And just like they've done recently with blood libel, where blood libel specifically means Jews killing Christian children, draining their blood and using their blood for rituals, including baking it into their matzah. And that's what that means. That's blood libel. That's blood libel, right? But they've taken it over now, and now if you say anything against them, that's blood libel. It's really interesting how that works. And they did the same thing with anti-Semitism. At some point, they took it over, and instead of being a rally cry against them, now anything that's said, they actually use it correctly. That's the fucked up part. It's just your perception of it has been manipulated. But like I say, why don't they say anti-Jewish? Because they don't care if you believe in their shit. What they care is if you believe they should have policy or predisposition favorable to them. And that's what they demand. They want you to be a Christian. Christians have been convinced that the people that killed their superhero, their Jesus, their Christian God's only begotten child, that those are that same Christian God's favorite chosen people. That's the shit that Christians have been tricked into believing. So you already have that Semitism pre-built. Everything, you believe the Bible. The Bible being a Jewish fairy tale, start to finish. That's all about Goyim existing, and then, you know, the main parts of the Bible, like the stories that you know about, a lot of them are dead. Are some Jewish person builds a God phone out in the middle of nowhere where nobody can see them or prove it. God comes down, maybe changes their name, always introduces himself as something different. I am the Almighty who is mightier than Mighty Mouse. Shit like that, you know. But he always will tell them, okay, so, you know, everything that you can see from this point to that point belongs to you now. And so you're then left to believe that these people then walked into the town and was like, hey, built one of those God phones you know my people can build. Of course, nobody saw it, but just trust me, I built it. God said, all of this is mine. I'm going to live in the biggest house, and you guys all have to pay me now. He was like, yeah, okay, if you say so. Well, if God say so, I guess. Majority of the Bible is about. But that's, you know, that's the kind of nonsense that they want you to believe, and that is literally happening now. That's, the Bible is about now. It's just allegory. It's about them giving us these characters, these Kushners, these Netanyahus, these Ben Gavirs, these controllers that just say, oh, hey, all this is mine now. You got to pay me. And we're all supposed to be like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, they don't want you converting to their shit, right? You never hear a Jew like, hey, why don't you join our synagogue and you be a part of the, you know, we'll get you converted. You can start coming to yeshiva. You can learn the Torah. They don't say that shit. They encourage you to be a Christian, so you accept the takeover. And so when it comes to anti-Semitism, it's true. If you speak out against something, well, that's you not following the policy and the predisposition favorable to them shit. You're supposed to shut the fuck up and let happens what happens and worry about your own family and keep your head down and wait to go to heaven when you die. Definitely don't start pointing out Batitza. Definitely don't start pointing out Bottom of Darkness, which we're about to read. Don't do that stuff. They don't want you doing that stuff. You're supposed to shut the fuck up and hope that you get your favor from the Jewish God that they gave you. Jesus was a Jew. He was a first century Jewish preacher.
No, he was a carpenter. And he had blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
And he wore sandals.
He's from the Davidic line. From the Old Testament. I mean, and again, we're talking about a story that's not corroborated by anything else in the world. The Egyptians don't talk about it. And the thing is, there's not a person on this feed, friar or not, who's dumb enough to believe in the story of Exodus. You know, most of you will hide behind like, oh, it's a metaphor or something. No. It's a literal, it's supposed to be taken literally. You are charged with like it's almost like it's like, I'm going to give you the most ridiculous story and then dare you to call me out on it. And if you're not going to call me out on this bullshit, well, you'll believe anything. And that's what Exodus is. Without Exodus, you don't have any other of the Abrahamic religions. There's no Islam, there's no Christianity, there's no Judaism. It all starts with Exodus. And like I say, there's not a person on here dumb enough to believe that 2 million Jews wandered a desert the size of, New Jersey for 40 years. How? How could you possibly do that? How did they survive? How did the amount of water, just the water alone, not just the 2 million of them, but all of their livestock and all that other shit that was there. Cows and sheep and horses and who knows. Well, horses weren't there yet, right? Because horses weren't introduced yet, were they?
I don't know.
Camels. I mean, it's not even like... So what you have to believe in is that the way they survived was because magical manna would appear on the ground every morning with the dew. So all over the desert sand floor, this sticky tar-like substance known as manna appeared. But it only lasted 24 hours. After 24 hours, it would evaporate or disappear or go bad or I don't fucking know. I mean, even if, it would have to disappear because even if it went bad after 40 years, people would be eating the bad manna. They'd want something different. So every day they would have to go out and harvest enough manna for 2 million plus people and their livestock. Everyone had to eat manna in order to survive. So this had to be gathered every single morning, except on Fridays, or on Saturdays, which was the Sabbath. Nobody works on the Sabbath, so the Friday manna would last 2 days. And they wandered the desert 200 miles wide. If you just walked in a straight line, it would take you, a month tops. 2 months, I don't know. But they wandered for 40 fucking years. And if you don't like that, if you don't like what I'm saying right now, I'm sorry. It's not me. I didn't make this shit up. I'm not the one asking you to believe absolute insanity so that I can get some sort of favor out of it. So that you'll turn a blind eye to me violating children on a regular basis. That shit's insane. You'll turn a blind eye to genocide. You'll turn a blind eye to the fact that they're attacking everyone. The amount of people killed in Lebanon alone, they're fucking with. It's so crazy that it's like my wildest dream / nightmare come true, right? Because this is the shit I've been telling you guys about for years. Warning you guys, this is what's going to happen. And now that I'm right, I don't get to be like, yay, I'm right, ha, 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 ha. Being right is an awful feeling. I would much rather have been wrong. And Israel was just cool and, turns out I was mistaken about all of it. If all 660,000 fighting men marched in a single flat line following the coast, the first ones would have reached Israel before the last ones left Egypt. Yes. 660,000 men. Their wives and their children are there. You got to remember that. He's pointing out the fact that there's, I'm assuming it's a he. Triple R, I don't know. But these are the types of things they just don't want you to fucking They don't want you to understand. It's a ludicrous, insultingly stupid, proposal to begin with. You would have to be just as dumb as you could possibly be you would have to have no understanding of a desert. The idea of anyone, but especially them, oh, it's so hot, the sand is, oh my, it would be, we're not even, but like he said, if they just all held hands, if they just all did one of those, like, monkey chains, where they all just linked arms, and they would be across the fucking desert. There's no common sense reason why they would have, for like 40 years, most of us, like, especially back then, the life expectancy was less than 40 years, wasn't it? And these people must have been still having babies and all that shit. Having babies in the desert couldn't have been fun.
No. All the sand in your nipples.
Ugh.
Oh my god, just the whole thing.
Right, and of course you're having babies, so what, do you get like double doses of mana that day? Can you imagine only eating a tar-like resin substance for every meal, drink, everything, every single day? I mean, I guess they could collect dew, but how much dew could they possibly collect? Yep, see, look at this. I need therapy because I don't believe in an insane story. This is the attacks are coming because which part did I get wrong? The book only discloses the number of able-bodied men capable of fighting, which if you do the math is around 660. Right. But they're also, their wives, their wives and their children were with them. They were all slaves, supposedly. The thing is, Egypt doesn't have any record of any sort of slavery or exodus or anything like that. The families of the fighting men is how we get to about 2 million. Yeah, exactly. And we're really lowballing it. That's assuming they have 1 or 2 children. That's not what they do. Over a 40-year period, it's just, where would they get the mikvah from? Oh, that's probably how they kept the population down. There wasn't a mikvah for the women to clean their dirty vaginas with.
So what they do, fuck each other?
I mean, I'm sure they didn't mind. Yeah, right. Me at Ben Shapiro levels would be really bad for you guys, wouldn't it? You have to ask yourself, like, why is Ben Shapiro famous? Who watches that piece of shit? Other than them, who watches this psychopath? Like, he's a psychopath. I don't know. I think I'd hate it. I think the attention would be awful. But I don't have to worry about it because they'll never get me to that point. They'll never let it happen. They can't. I check too many boxes. Guys like Ian Carroll, understand, there's none. There is no social media footprint for Ian Carroll prior to March of 2023. Do you understand how impossible that is? He's a Gen Xer, Gen Z or whatever. He's like 27 now or something. I think he was, I don't know. I don't remember his age, but he's a younger guy. Why wouldn't he have any sort of social media? Why wouldn't he have any sort of social media fucking presence anywhere? Why would that make sense? These are the people that are elevated to the highest levels. And they all tell you the same fucking script. Believe in Jesus. Don't blame the entire cult because they have friends that are nice to their face. Blame the Zionists. Blame Israel.
Blame Jesus.
No, don't blame Jesus.
I blame Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
I blame Jesus. Sorry.
Makes him a millennial. I don't know. It's a really fucking, it's a really interesting twist on things. You know, these guys that sort of appear out of nowhere and get elevated immediately, and they're allowed to say similar things without getting in trouble. And why the fuck do I gotta do everything around here? Belgium. TAs. I know all these little Greek phrases and words, but I don't know what the fuck they mean. I've heard them 1,000 times.
Well, tiechis means what do you have, but it also means like what's wrong with you. Like,
Oh, so I was right.
yes, that one.
Oh, have you heard the good news of the Savior Thor, son of a... Yo, absolutely. I saw the movies. Man. Anything but believing that we are it. You know, we are the ones that are in this position. You know, we are the good guys. And we are it. And this life is what we have. And let's make it the best life we can make it for everyone that wants it. Yeah. It just seems strange that we're so wrapped up in crazy fairy tale bullshit and fighting truth and ignoring evidence and looking where they wanted us to go. Look, you know, look here, look at this. No, don't look there anymore. Look over here. Did you guys hear anything about what happened with the boat that hit the bridge and made the whole thing collapse? You heard anything else about that? We have a what would you call a gaggle of rabbis? Rapists. We have a rapist of rabbis here. That sounds like a good fucking, you know, because you'll have like a gaggle of geese, a murder of crows, you know, shit like that. A rapist of rabbis. That sounds about right. How come anybody would come on here and identify as a rabbi and then like play into the stupid, awful stereotypes? Why would you want that to happen that way? It's amazing how... Oh, you know what? Fuck it. We don't need to keep going down that hole. We're going to pull some proof out. Bottom of darkness. Israel Hayom. Read it again. Multiple women recount organized abuse, including ritual ceremonies conducted by people they knew, even close family members. After months of interviews with victims, their families, treatment professionals, and experts in Israel and abroad, a disturbing picture emerges with descriptions difficult to read. This is 100% them. There is no Goyim activity at all. Israel Hayom, top to bottom, from the photographers to the editors to the fucking typesetters to, you name it. Everything is them. There is no, that's the anti-Semitism. That's just Hamas propaganda. That has to be one of my favorite things right now. Somehow Hamas has infiltrated the Jewish news networks and somehow makes them report things from a pro-Israel perspective that happens to make Israel look really bad. And that's somehow Hamas, making that happen. Like, it's just such a stupid argument. There is no way, there's not a single possible way Hamas propaganda could exist. We're talking about on what? What platform would it exist? Right? What fucking platform would support that shit? Yeah. Anybody that's stupid like that, like, see, that's the funniest thing is, like, you would never see me holding bacon up to somebody like that. I'm not trying to make enemies of the people. I want the people to be like, you realize that they're the slaves to something and that we need to unify. Doesn't matter what your family tricked you into being, what your society tricked you into being, you need to be better than. And if the best thing you can do, if the best argument you can come up with is bacon, that's pretty fucking sad. They have a lot more going on that's worse than that. But again, they are one of 3 Abrahamic religions, meaning they are a tentacle. Why are you trying to cut off the tentacles? Why aren't you trying to cut off the head? Yep. You want more attention because you like raping children. We get you. Pizza. Gotcha. We're going to talk about it. I'm sure you got you probably don't use lotion. Let's see. I suffered painful sodomy. Truly felt like I was splitting in two. It's a terrible experience, but there's something about these things, perhaps in their strangeness, that's like maybe the hardest component is that if you tell people about these things, they'll think you're crazy. Well, that's familiar. I remember many types of severe sexual abuse, but there's something about these ritualistic abuses that makes them the bottom of darkness. In direct words and with a clear voice, Imuna, like a pseudonym like all of the victims' names in this article, describes the severe abuse she allegedly experienced in her childhood. Allegedly, right? You got to focus on that word, allegedly, right? Because even though the reports are made, within hours, the cops just shut the thing down with no investigation because that's, said she was lying, said she was crazy, right? Organized sexual abuse that included ceremonies with supposed religious significance, horrifying ceremonies in which religious people, some from her own family, sacrificed her as an offering for spiritual transcendence or redemption. Most of their holidays are based around redemption. For some reason, the most moral, upstanding people in the world are constantly in need of redemption. What do you think that's in regards to? I mean, the fact is, if I know about this, they all know about it. Imuna is not alone. More than 10 women between the ages of 20 and 45 with whom we spoke describe a severe phenomenon raising a serious concern. Perhaps the world knows that rape occurs, that incest exists, but in this, the world doesn't know. These acts have been kept secret for years, perhaps because of their insanity. It was always very, very strange, as if there was an internal logic, but it was so crazy. Very strange things happen there, normalized in a ritualistic and orderly manner. There's a specific time. There's when to say this verse, when to say that verse. There's an order, as if things are supposed to be done this way. Yeah. Jesus didn't say anything. It's just dumb shit. Said that not a letter or stroke of a letter of the law of Moses would be changed until all would come to pass in the heaven and the earth fell away, meaning Christians shouldn't eat bacon. Huh? When asked after the Revelations narrative is revealed and people are scared, they're scared of what's going on. Jesus, we's scared. Jesus laughs and says, "Ah ha ha, verily, verily, I say unto you, none of the events, or all of the events, no one of this generation shall die until all of these events have come to pass." Matthew 24:34. Matthew 24:34 destroys all of your concepts of the Bible, destroys the church, destroys all of it. Because it's saying that Jesus is talking about something that happened a long time ago. All of the people of that generation have died a long time ago. So it happened before all of those people died. No one of this generation shall die until all of these things come to pass. It's all old school shit. And the Bible is like watching The Princess Bride. You're watching an old man tell a kid or a group of kids a story. He's telling the story of the Bible to a group, and that's what you're watching. It's like fourth wall break times 2 or some shit. But let's keep going, right? Hammer House of Horror. Each woman we interviewed during our investigation has a different life story. They come from different areas of the country, from north to south. Each is in a different place in her life. Some are students, others work and manage careers and family lives. And there are also young women barely surviving, clinging to life by their fingernails. These women did not know each other growing up previously, grew up in different communities, and came from different sectors and religious streams. Yet, the ritual abuse stories they describe are similar in ways that compel us to listen and not turn a blind eye, like all of these rabbis on here. Some were harmed in early childhood, educational settings, or in girls' schools. Others in family homes, yeshivas, or synagogues. In this article, we present only a very small sample for many hours of interviews and information, and some descriptions in this article are difficult to read. Victim, sacrifice, punishment, correction, transcendence, redemption. These are reoccurring concepts in the testimonies. The prayers, the mutterings, the ecstasy surrounding the victims, the extreme pain, humiliation, and torture, the crushing of personality and soul. Testimony after testimony after testimony from women who experienced organized childhood abuse that included group rape performed within ceremonial and ritual frameworks. We met these women over the past few months. We spoke with family members of the victims and treatment professionals, disassociation. I'm going to skip over these. Now, see, it's doing a thing where it fucks up and it makes it really difficult to read. This is just the beginning. It'll start kicking me into a different thing here soon. We collected information about the ritual. The picture emerging from all gathered information is difficult and disturbing. It requires at minimum a deep and meaningful blah, blah, blah. Most women we interviewed come from the religious Zionists or ultra-Orthodox communities, although Shishabat received additional testimonies about similar cases in secular society. Therefore, it's important to emphasize these findings don't target any specific sector, but rather direct a beam of light toward suspected crimes of the most severe kind imaginable. They try to like dumb it down. But this is happening all over. Why? Because it's baked into the fucking religious scripts, the scripture and shit. This is not, individuals. They'll try to paint it that way. Another piece in this that I forgot to when I said there's like a list of three things. Well, first they try to say that the cops don't have enough money. Second, they try to say that fuck. Well, second, they try to make it seem like if you say something about it, you're crazy. Oh, the other thing they try to do is make it sound like, oh, this is happening all over the world. Just like in Israel, this is happening all over. They say this is happening all over the world like 5 times in the article. But they're so stupid that they don't like they're trying to make it sound like abuse happens all over, but they're talking about specific Jewish ritual abuse, which actually does happen all over because they are all over. But this is what they're saying without actually meaning to shine a light on it, I guess. I'm not really sure. But places like Lakewood, it's absolutely happening. And then the other thing that I didn't pick up on until another read recently is that they're also trying to say that they're like, they try to paint the picture like, oh, it's not that it's necessarily a learned behavior. All of these men just happen to have the same intuition. Reading the scriptures, they all then interpret the scriptures the same weird psychotic way. Nobody's teaching them. It's all intuition. And it's just bullshit. But it's just another way for them to they're reporting on it, but they're trying to whitewash it at the same time. It's really fucking crazy. Here we go again. All right. Several rabbis' names appeared repeatedly in some testimonies. Multiple complaints filed at different police stations around the world and the country were all closed relatively quickly. Even when suspicions arose previously around a network harming children in Jerusalem, police investigators, at best, lack sufficient tools or knowledge to properly investigate. Right? That makes sense. The Israeli police just don't have enough money, tools, or knowledge to be able to investigate this shit properly. Do you realize how crazy that is? In that case, extensively exposed in 2019 on the TV program The Source, suspicions arose about a pedophile network that harmed dozens of children in the Naholat neighborhood. Investigators tended to dismiss it as an invention, an exaggeration, or panic by the parents and treatment professionals, and closed the case with almost no relevant indictments. We're going to throw some other shit out here, I guess, for no reason. Got booted for that one quickly. Gee, that's weird, don't you think? A man named Benjamin Satz was convicted and sentenced, we don't know for how long, in 2013 to imprisonment, again, don't know for how long, for committing indecent acts and sodomy against girls and boys aged 5 to 8. Another suspect was acquitted due to reasonable doubt. No outsiders in the community. I remember a pentagram on the floor, usually in red. When the ceremony was in the forest, the pentagram was marked with a hoe and surrounded by lit candles in a circle. The rabbi would bless, "Blessed who releases the bound." Men around prayed with prayer shawls, sometimes dressed in black, while the rabbi wore a white robe. There were several men and boys around the ages of 16 and 17 who participated in ceremonies for spiritual transcendence, putting your sins onto something else so you can have redemption. We've all seen it, right? This is what they do. They do this all the time. Kaparat or kaporat or however you say it, where they put their sins on the chicken and then they swing the chicken around by its head and break its neck and kill it. So it says it's customary for them to then donate the chicken to the poor, which is sick, you know. You believe you're putting your, if it was real, like obviously you should give the food to the poor because they need it. But the thought behind it of you put your sins into this chicken and now you're going to feed it to the poor. That's pretty fucked up mentally. And nowadays they just don't even bother. You'll see like they do the things and then they'll have like a big dumpster fire and they'll just throw the dead body chickens in there and just burn it. Or they have these big like events in New York where they'll like close off city blocks and they'll have all these different caparat stands where you slaughter your chicken and then you put it in and the blood is everywhere and it's just disgusting. And then when they're done, they just leave. They don't clean it up. They take their shit, but the rest of it's just disgusting. It's a toxic, disgusting, unbelievably unsanitary shit. They pour the shit down into the sewer grates and shit. And it's all protected under religious freedom bullshit. But it's insane. Right? You just described perfectly the scene in the movie The Devil Rides Out, made by Hammer House Horror Productions in Pinewood, England. England's Hollywood. Yeah, well. There are all sorts of videos online showing that exact thing happening in New York every year. Right? It's fucking crazy. Right, if there's reasonable doubt. Yeah, why not? There was one time they asked me to dig a hole and lie in it. Other times they injected me with something and said, now you'll feel better, after which my body went limp. They would repeatedly read psalms like a Psalm of David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. They told me, you are special, you are chosen. And they would insert, I remember, a palm branch, Hanukkah candles, and a shofar. Limor grew up in a religious ultra-Orthodox home. Her father, she says, always acted violently towards her and her mother. Throughout the years, she required medical treatment at a hospital and was accompanied by a professional due to injuries caused by the violent abuse she experienced. If you're watching this, like, share, and sub, guys. It's important that people understand this is not just some weird prejudice. This is not just some, oh, they killed Jesus. Yeah, that's stupid. My goal in life right now is to protect the Jewish children. We need to protect the Jewish children from this nightmare because maybe they'll grow up to not be such psychopaths. But if you're watching and you agree, like, share, and sub, help out. According to her testimony, her father was the one who brought her to these ceremonies. Being delivered by family members is characteristic of many testimonies we gathered. Limor says sometimes the ceremony took place in a forest, other times in a secluded apartment. There are instances when she witnessed and heard other children being abused. Testimonies regarding additional child victims repeats across multiple cases. In many testimonies we documented, women also participated in the ceremonies and abuse. Organized rape of children is one of the most horrifying phenomena I encounter, says Dr. Gore. It's a phenomenon probably much more widespread than we imagine. It exists in many places you wouldn't expect to find it. Boaz, another pseudonym, said the abusers are typically not outsiders in the community. One patient told me, understand, he's the one that blows the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. Shit. Fuck. Here we go. Now it's fucking up. It's doing all this crazy shit. Alright, let's see. Now I gotta find this shit again. Where the fuck was I? Oh, okay. The one that blows the shofar, and the person, understand, he's the one that blows the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. The shofar symbolizes a channel. The person considered most spiritually worthy blows the shofar because he's closest to God, and he's the one telling her she's evil, and that he's helping with her atonement in this lifetime. Do you understand the distortion? Do you see this? This isn't my shit. This is an article from April of 2025. April 23rd, 2025, this article was put out. Did you hear worldwide condemnation? Did you see all the news organizations picking this up like they would if it was anyone else? This is admitting all of the conspiracies are true. This is how you create an entire population that lives off of the genocide of others and doesn't feel bad. You know, from 3 years and 1 day old, maybe it happened before that too, but officially from because prior to 3 years and 1 day old, it's not considered rape because it's like a poke in the eye, they say. It's like a poke in the eye. Everything just grows back and it's no big deal. The child doesn't remember it, so it doesn't matter. After 3 years and 1 day, if the child is violated, the rapist now owes the family either 50 shekels or 100 dinars, whatever the number might be. I don't know. It's a low number. But now the victim belongs, the child victim belongs to the rapist as sort of somewhere between a wife and a slave. And that's just it. The dowry's paid and that's it. When you have 18 kids, what do you fucking care? Right? This shit's happening all over the place. It's much more, it's much worse than you imagine. Beyond the women who dared to meet and speak with Israel in Rome, professionals possess information. The content emerging from these accounts shows remarkable similarities from all gathered information. It appears that in most cases the sexual abuse began in very early childhood at home, perpetrated by the father, grandfather, or other family member. In other cases, the abuse occurred in educational or therapeutic settings. What I've observed over the years is that whatever endures these things suffers catastrophic damages. Whoever endures these things suffers catastrophic damages. There's also There's also one of the challenges with exposure. The victims are so shattered that they are difficult to believe. Who thinks it's difficult to believe? If your child or a child comes up to you and says, "Hey, I know you've noticed my personality has changed in the last however long. You keep asking me what's wrong. I have all these marks all over my body. Well, I've been ritually abused by this, that, and the other." How many of you are going to go, "Well, that's difficult to believe"? Not one of you, right? Not one of you. Guess they don't like being called swines. Like, anybody that's a decent human being would hear that and immediately call the police. If you know that this is happening across the street from you, you don't stay quiet and go, "Well, shit, at least it's not happening at my house." Or, "Boy, that's a beautiful ritual act of God." You say, "What the fuck is going on? What the fuck?" You call the police, you do something about it. And if you don't, you're a piece of shit. I don't care what you fucking say. You know this shit's going on and you don't do or say anything about it. And even worse, you attack somebody like me that does say something about it. Yeah, you're just as guilty. I don't believe you belong to the pedophile cult, but you don't partake in it. You don't get that fucking that option. Free Palestine indeed, but Free Palestine is such a small piece. Because you can't say Free Palestine to Lebanon. Can't say Free Palestine to Syria, to Yemen, to Iran. It's not Free Palestine. It's end the cult. It's not even Israel, because Israel doesn't exist. It's a made up construct. It's a fake place. As much as all places are fake, Israel's even more fake. Right? And so it's not Israel. Israel doesn't think. Israel doesn't do anything. It's the cult that chooses to violate everyone around it, controls the United States government, controls Hollywood. It's much bigger than just Israel. That's why they need neighbors and neighborhoods, same as themselves. Yeah, take them to the. Well, see, I can't. Like again, you can't just go. Oh well, just ship them all off to their own place and let them rape their own children. No, somebody has to stand up for their own for their children too. Their children deserve better than this. And I can imagine if you take them out of the MK Ultra style abuse scenario that they experience from childhood, along with the continued abuse that comes with being silent about it, you know, like it creates the narrative that we're experiencing right now. As much as I hate their shit and hate their cult, you know, we have to protect their children. You have to protect all these fucking kids, man. It's all the kids. You know, those kids are made into those psychopaths because of the cult they're in. You take those kids out of the cult, they will not be that way. You know, and hopefully, again, it's like the parents all, they go, you know, I don't want this to happen to my children. Remember what it was like. See, you can't even remember what it was like to when the first time because you were 3, maybe. So you don't even remember life without it. And that's just fucked up. That needs to stop. You know, you have to put all of these things together. It's not all going to be in one source. This Bottom of Darkness article is amazing, but it's not all of it. You put this together with the Talmud. You put this together with Matitza. You put this together, you know, with all of the shit that goes on. Then you see it for what it is. This is such a huge piece, no doubt about it. But it just combine it with the other things and you see something really, really fucked up emerges. That wasn't why I'm saying. I know how you feel, Karen. I'm not saying you. I'm saying that's why the bulk buy a Lakewood. It's them that want to be together. I don't want them together. Right. And the thing is, if you're a goyim and they decide to come to your neighborhood and you live in a house that's worth $100,000 and they come offer you $500,000 to get your shit and move out within a month, within a week, you're going to fucking do it. 500,000 cash? Yeah, you're going to do that shit. Now, you're only going to walk away with like 250, 260. But still, you know, it's going to be double what your house is worth. You'd be foolish not to do it. It's like you shopping at Walmart. Of course you should shop at the mom and pop spots. But they have to charge more to survive. And your life is so difficult that you have to save every penny you can. It's a fucked up spot they put us in. Well, it's all paid for them by our fucking shit. They got to take all our taxes for them. The more cruel and sadistic the abusers are, and the younger the victims, the more horrifying the abuse, the smaller the chance the perpetrators will face justice because there's no one left to testify. The abusers so thoroughly destroyed the victims' souls that it becomes a crime without witness, which, of course, serves a society that continues to abuse or maintain these rituals. It's not my fucking words, guys. Dr. Joanna Silberg, international expert, blah, 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 the child's... fuck, here we go. I'm just gonna fucking jump all around and shit. The child survivor, she describes severe symptoms the child suffered due to multiple forms of abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, and spiritual. She had numerous testimonies around Jerusalem. In one case, she reported professional literature, a child abused in Israel and treated in the U.S. describes how several men tortured him and recalled an incident where they submerged his head underwater. Descriptions of sadistic abuse appear consistently across all testimonies we collected. As an immunostory, there was a ceremony like a circumcision that I underwent. I was 10 or 11. It took place in the settlement synagogue. They tied me up similar to the binding of Isaac and wounded my genitals. It's female genital mutilation. The same thing that you're really upset about that Muslims do to little girls. The same thing the news tells, oh, you should hate it, and you should. It's disgusting. It's a horrible, horrible practice. Just like circumcision itself is a horrible practice. Female genital mutilation, what they're doing, it's a circumcision-like ritual. What do you think they're cutting off? What do you think they're cutting off? And of course, you see, somebody comes on here and it's like, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, yay. Go Israel. That sounds great. This is what they do, man. They are disgusting. My father is there. My mother is there. A rabbi from the settlement. I'm tied to a table looking at the window and imagining how I could jump through it. How I might tie a rope and rappel down to the stones. I constantly wanted it to not be happening. That's what characterizes it. I continuously thought about how it wasn't happening, how I could escape. I kept telling myself I wasn't there. It was extremely difficult to understand that I was actually there. That it's me, the bound child, the youngest and most vulnerable. Organized sexual abuse occurs as noted throughout the world. Gotta keep reminding people, right? Again, look at the comment section right now. With what I'm talking about, do you think somebody is randomly talking about pizza slices in Israel? What do you think they're acknowledging by doing that right now? Do you really think that's just innocent fun? Ha ha ha. Do any of you real people make pedo jokes just because that's funny to you? Dr. Michael Statler, or Salter, defines it as a conspiracy of several attackers to abuse several victims. That's genius, huh? Fuck, here we go again. Rabbi Dr. Uday Furman quotes in his article, Ritual Abuse in Israel, Salter's definition of ritual abuse as an ideological framing in organized context of child sexual abuse, quote, functioning as strategic practices through which abusive groups instill in victims a misogynistic worldview violently to control them. Seems pretty like appropriate, doesn't it? The way that you're presented. In other words, Rabbi Furman writes, ritual abuse occurs when a religious, political, or spiritual authority uses their position of power to manipulate victims' belief systems and thereby control them. Ritual abuse is primarily a strategy employed by groups involved in producing images of child abuse, child prostitution, and other forms of organized abuse that does not constitute a separate category of violence. It's all the same horrible thing. Examine the attitudes of 165 adults who testified they were victims of organized ritual sexual abuse. They're all lying. They're all lying, right? And 174 professionals who supported victims of this type of abuse. In 88% of the reports from both groups, therapists and victims, identical ideological expressions emerged. The ideological context and objectives were also presented in a similar order: justification of violence, justification of sexual exploitation, and maintaining power and control, followed by maintaining group commitment and ensuring redemption. The researchers concluded that ideologies are primarily means to justify organized sexual abuse. However, in the article, Froman argues that some reports in Israel suggest ideology wasn't merely a means to justify organized sexual violence, but formed the foundation of the abuse. Again, they're not twisting the literature to accommodate their beliefs. You're twisting the literature by not paying attention to what it says. Rabbi Furman references, for example, the Nahalat case, which is just one of many similar cases most occurring in ultra-Orthodox neighborhoods. For instance, a private ultra-Orthodox court writes that ritual sexual abuse is cruel and frequent, accompanied by traumatic, accusatory, and confusing ceremonies. The abuse is carried out by large criminal organizations and or cults and or secret organizations with financial investment and recruitment of assisting personnel. Here we go. What the fuck? The abuse carries for its perpetrators substantial profits, such as satisfaction of deviant urges, commerce, and child exploitation materials, threats and extortion, and more. According to Furman, the court document describes the practice of organized abuse, quote, from preparing the scene through recruiting collaborators from educational institutions and transportation drivers to the ceremonies themselves. The ceremonies take place under the leadership of an important rabbi. After a Torah lesson, approximately every 2 weeks, not saying this used to happen, it's saying this is continuing to happen every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, parents gather with children from what is called soul correction. The couples recite psalms together and sing verses repeatedly with melody, all while standing without clothes. They stand in a circle naked, praying, lighting candles. The children are positioned in the middle of the circle, also naked. This is what's coming out. Right?
Mommy, if God made us, why does he want our clothes off? Doesn't he know what we look like already?
Doesn't he know it's cold and I feel really uncomfortable? Doesn't he know I don't like I don't like this? That's where, again, where they're told repeatedly how special they are, how chosen they are, and how if not them, it's going to be their younger sibling. No? Their favorite younger sibling, because they know that shit. And it's, you're special, you're chosen. You have some evil inside of you that needs to be exercised out. Like it's hard to imagine as adults any of this like working on you, right? But we're talking about children who barely talk, 3 years old and shit. If this is all you've known from the time you were 3 years and 1 day old, at least, legally, because again, prior to 3 years and 1 day old, it just doesn't count as abuse. It's just what it is. It's just a thing. It's a poke in the eye. That's what they say. Mm-hmm. So to think that that's literally all they know. They don't even necessarily think it's wrong. It's just a part of it. It's just a part of the thing. They're special. They get to be violated again. In a document intended for the parents, educators, and rabbis, the ultra-Orthodox court Sharei Misfat in Jerusalem details numerous methods and actions taken by abusers aiming to warn and raise awareness of this spreading phenomenon and to protect children. Among other things, the document states that to shield themselves from exposure, abusers deliberately act in extreme ways contrary to logic, so that, quote, even if the children tell, they will sound completely delusional, completely schizophrenic. Just any parent on here, right? 19 viewers, or 14 viewers, 19 likes. Totally makes sense. Like, share, sub if you're watching. If you're a parent, I don't even think I have to say this. Like I could be outside doing nothing, and a kid could run up to me all fucked up and be like, help, I've been abused by an entire group of people, or I've been abused in this guy was shoving this inside of me, or, anything. And I'm not going to be like, oh, run along and stop playing, little kid. I'm going to be like, who are you talking about? Let's call the police. Let's fix this as soon as we possibly can.
That doesn't sound like that could happen.
Right. I don't believe that. And the crazy part is, that's me saying that knowing it happened to me. or it happened to my family members or something. It didn't happen to me, but I'm saying if it did happen to me, knowing that the abuse is really real goes on, for you to then be like, nah, that doesn't happen. Like it's so much sicker that way. It's hard to put this in different categories of sickness, but it's much worse when you know what you're doing. The only thing worse than a pedophile is someone that's experienced it themselves and still does it to another child. Like, you're just an unbelievable piece of shit. Just like these people in the comments. Look at all the funny pedo jokes. Who makes pedo jokes? I would rage like any humane being. It has on everywhere. I don't know what it has. ES on everywhere. Karen's so mad she's not even typing right. Among other things, the document. Oh yeah. In a partial list, the actions are described, including abusers using disguises and masks, alongside sadistic torture, such as forcing children's hands into boiling water, submerging them underwater for several seconds. You know, like Naomi Elkins. Doesn't it shine a different light on things when you connect the dots like you would with anything else? Anything else you would connect these dots. If there was all of these things that you weren't even trying to connect, they just happened to connect, and they made sense of something that doesn't make any sense. You want to blow your fucking mind, go look up Naomi Elkins. She drowned both of her 3-year-old and her 1-year-old child. Stabbed the 1-year-old in the stomach. Drowned them both. Was barely taken to, she was taken to jail so nicely. Within about a week, she was found insane. She was found guilty by reason of insanity, which means she goes to an insane home until they deem her no longer insane. And once they deem her no longer insane, she gets let out.
Which just means, is she a threat to herself or others? Basically. If she's not a threat to herself or others, let her go. If she talks to herself, whatever.
Oh, I made this up. Look, guys, I made this up. All right, let's see here. Let's have some fun here. Naomi Elkins, ELKIN. Oops. Damn it, wrong letter. ELKINS. Lakewood. This is the Ashbury Press. You know what? Fuck the Ashbury Press. This is NBC News. How about NBC News? NBC News? Look at this troll's fucking face. That bitch is 27 years old. 27 years old. New Jersey mother who drowned her 2 toddlers for religious reasons found not guilty by reason of insanity. See? Naomi Elkins confessed to drowning her 1-year-old and 3-year-old daughters in the bathtub last year. New Jersey woman who drowned her 2 children last year for religious reasons was found not guilty by reason of insanity, a court ruled this week. Naomi Elkins, 27, was charged with killing her daughters, ages 1 and 3, after she drowned them in a bathtub on June 25th at her home on Shenandoah Drive in Lakewood, New Jersey. June 25th. This is April 3rd. Oh, this is a year later. This must be an update. Oh, this is update? I don't know. Prosecutors said Elkins admitted to police that she killed the girls for religious reasons. She thought that if she destroyed her children, she would destroy all the evil in the world. Psychologist Gianni Pirelli testified Tuesday, according to Ashbury Park Press. Police responded to the report in June of 2 children suffering from cardiac arrest and found emergency responders from a volunteer ambulance program trying to save them, right? Because the first call goes to the Jewish organizations. They have their own police, they have their own emergency system, right? And once it gets to a certain point, then they call the regular police. There's a buffer. That's why you don't hear about a lot of the crimes that come out of that community. A lot of the sexual assault crimes, a lot of the physical assault crimes, the domestic abuse, all that kind of shit.
No, it's because they don't have crime because they're much more civilized than we are.
Shut up.
Isn't that what we're supposed to believe?
That's what we're supposed to believe, right? The toddlers were pronounced dead at the scene. The younger child had been stabbed in the chest, according to the prosecutor's office. Pirelli also testified that Elkins was described as emotionless after the incident. You can watch the video. The crazy part is, so the cops, the body cam footage is uploaded. The cops show up, and as they show up to this big fucking huge house. And there are Jewish men everywhere. And they look guilty as fuck. They're walking around like head down, like looking, like chewing their nails and shit. Everywhere. There are cars everywhere. When I say it's like that scene at the Temple Israel. There are so many cars there and so many people there. And how did all those people get there so quickly if they weren't already there for the ritual? So then they go into the house. And as soon as they go into the house, everything you can see is blurred. The audio's there, but the visual is all blurred. And they say it's blurred because, they don't want to show anything too horrific. We're talking about two little kids, one of which was 1 year old and was stabbed. So the idea that there would be blood all over everything seems not very feasible, right? Especially when she was stabbed and then drowned in the tub. So what they were blocking out is all of the ritualistic Jewish propaganda that was all over the house. That's why I've never seen it before. I've seen lots of crime scene videos on TV where the cops go in and like once they get to the scene or like if there's blood on the floor or whatever, they'll blur all that out, but they never blur everything top to bottom. Never seen anything like that. They take her to the police station. She's all calm. They treat her as nice as they could. They uncuff her and they just let her walk through the police station without cuffs on.
They do that to murder victims, suspects all the time.
They do that to everybody all the time, right? Described as emotionless after the incident. And you can see all this, like I say. Once she goes back behind this, once, they uncuff her and she goes back to meet with detectives who are already there and ready to go. She doesn't have to go wait in a cell or anything. There's already 2 detectives there waiting to talk to her. But once she goes back to go talk with detectives, the footage stops. Because that's how that works. They don't film interrogation videos or anything, do they? Where's her interrogation video? Kind of like, where is all the security camera video from the Temple Israel attack that just happened? That place has security cameras everywhere. Inside and out. They say that he was sitting in the parking lot for 2 hours before he did it. And nobody approached him? Nobody approached a Lebanese-looking man sitting in the Temple Israel parking lot? I guarantee none of you could go to the Temple Israel parking lot before this and sit in the parking lot off to the side or whatever for even 10, 15 minutes before somebody would be like, hey, what's going on? Their security would come out. He supposedly, the best part is, he supposedly bought $200 worth of fireworks that he had, that I think the security camera footage of him buying the fireworks from a few days earlier still existed, because that's how security cameras work, right? Mm-hmm. They don't reset after a 24-hour period because, you can't store everything. Unless, of course, you're Tyler Robinson, who 3+ years earlier had been in a minor car accident that wasn't his fault. And the police video of what happened still existed. They still had the police video, the body cam video from the Tyler Robinson minor fender bender accident from years prior to. That's how that works. What's up, Matt? I guarantee you call the police and ask them if they have a video from an interaction of you from years ago. They're going to say, no. We keep that shit 90 days tops. But it always works out that way. But again, none of her interrogation video exists or anything like that. After the incident, and that her statements included similar religious themes, such as the idea of being the Messiah, the press reported. She was undoubtedly psychotic at the time, Pirelli said. Defense attorneys confirmed Elkins had a history of mental illness. After she confessed to police, Elkins was given an opportunity to write a letter, which Pirelli read in court. She writes, "You are evil. I'm deserving of death and destruction. I don't know what I was. I loved my children, but I loved you more." As if it were written to God, the press reported. Superior Judge Guy P. Ryan concluded Elkins was responsible for the deaths of her children, but ruled Tuesday that she was not guilty, owing to her insanity. Ryan ordered Elkins to be committed to a psychiatric hospital for 2 lifetimes, according to the press. Under state law, each life sentence is 75 years. It sounds, unless, of course, she's found not crazy anymore. Ryan also quoted from Elkins' letter reading, I put me before my kids. How could a Jewish mother do that? How? How is it possible? Defense attorney Michael Ansel said Elkins will be periodically evaluated by the court and remain in a psychiatric institution unless she reaches a point of being no longer considered a danger to herself or others. They leave out the fact that she was interviewed by that Pirelli chick for like 11 hours or something like that. I bet you would have a hard time finding another story recently where someone kills their children and is given the insanity thing. I'd like to know the last time somebody was found insane like that and how long it took to find them insane. If it was an 11-hour interview, 11 hours worth of interviews by one doctor, and that after that one conclusion, it was like, yeah, she's insane. No second opinion necessary. Nothing. This bitch will actually get away with murder when she gets let out in a couple of years.
Fucking nuts.
If she's even there to begin with.
You wouldn't have gotten that.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Nothing even close. We definitely wouldn't have been treated nicely by the police while getting arrested. Yep, I'm faking. I just faked that story. I mean, I read NBC News, but it's because earlier today I hacked NBC News, put that story in so I could, happen to read it 2.5 hours into my video.
You could do that?
Shut up. Don't tell people my secrets. Yeah, I can. Why do you think we live so fucking high on the hog? Why do you think you live in this lap of luxury like this, girl?
Lap of luxury.
You better watch your ass or you're going to be, not sucking from this teat anymore. This golden teat. This banana teat. Let's see. Partial list, boiling water, submerging them underwater, threatening them with aggressive animals to frighten them and intensify the trauma effect. Hey, what does that sound like? That sounds Sound like acro? No. No, I mean, yes, supposedly, the more intensely, fearful the child is, the higher the adrenaline count in the chrome, and, think of it like Monsters, Inc., right? Monsters, Inc. If they could figure out a way to drain achrome from children while making them laugh, it would probably have a higher concentration, but you can't really do that now, can you? So the next best thing is to intensify the fear. Using animals, having big fucking dogs. Can you imagine 3, 4, 5-year-old kid? He's already terrified about what's going on, and you have some big German shepherds barking in their face. Tearing up another body. Fucking A. Make the kid watch that shit. He has 18 kids. What the fuck? We could sacrifice one. Monsters, Inc. was literally showing acro. Oh my god, I just realized that. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Right in your face every time. You just don't realize it. Monsters fucking Inc. Yeah. Right in your face. Additional mentions include inserting objects and work or kitchen tools inside the children. To humiliate children and instill feelings of guilt and shame, perpetrators show them pictures of themselves naked or give them food while telling them they ate carrion, which is dead flesh, like dead rotting flesh. Organize mock wedding ceremonies between children. Force them to eat feces and stage their burials. Do you think they're telling them they ate carrion or they're really eating carrion? Why would they force them to eat feces but only pretend to feed them carrion? They collapse all self-trust and ability to resist. The regular, frequent abuse is so destructive that the children despair of normality, and the abuse becomes their life routine. That's why you guys can't wrap your head around it. You don't understand how that works. Psychiatrists have diagnosed a complete, quote, personality fracture in the normal part, allowing the child to continue functioning normally in school. According to Silberg, individual groups may have their own motives, such as sexual deviations, bizarre ideological affirmations that include conducting ceremonies or economic enrichment, for example, through human trafficking for sexual exploitation, or producing images of child sexual abuse. These motives are not necessarily shared by all members. She also notes that networks engaged in producing and distributing child exploitation materials, including organized abuse, have been exposed worldwide. It's not just us, it's worldwide, just so you know. Again, think about how many times that's said in this article, just to shade things. Like, hey, this is, and that's, and again, they're so stupid, they don't realize what they're saying, I guess. Like, no, of course, it's happening worldwide because they are worldwide. No other group, no Arabic group or Christian group or whatever are doing Jewish rituals. They exist everywhere. Therefore, their rituals exist everywhere. And any reports of anything similar to this, it's them. Because it's part of their shit. This is happening all over Lakewood. All over Curious Joel. They are not living every other way but that one by the Talmud. Despite the reoccurring almost ideological skepticism, there have been several successful convictions. Yeah. Over the years, multiple examples, as well as other researchers, since the development of the internet, especially the emergence of peer-to-peer networks and the dark web, the phenomenon of sexual assaults in children has intensified significantly. These are the youngest and most vulnerable victims in society, it is claimed. Live streaming platforms from home allow children to be exploited in front of a camera, and videos of the acts to be broadcast worldwide without leaving traces. On the other side of the screen, investigative specialists recognize the high demand among consumers for the most horrific vehicles, including sadistic abuse of children. Like that, yeah. See that's again, that's the other part that always gets ignored. It's like Epstein trafficked to who again? No one. He was just a huge sex trafficker, though. Okay.
Shh.
Like there's the other side of this. The other side
Worry
that's
about the
buying
customers.
this. You know, that are specifically buying videos of Jewish children performing Jewish. Like, who else do you think's watching that?
We don't bust the people that buy drugs, only the people that sell them to those people, right?
No.
No. People that buy, they're innocent.
No, we buy people that buy drugs all the time. We bust people that buy drugs all the time.
No.
Yep. Something where people choose to do something to themselves because they don't want to drink, but they want to get a little high.
But my point is, you know.
I know, I get you. I get you. I had hoped that Israel would blah, blah, blah. No. The investigators treated each case as if it was isolated. If you separate each case and you don't look at the overall picture, you don't ask where all the dots lead. And perhaps they did their best, and the attackers were simply more sophisticated than the police. Yep, the amount of refrain is just the same abstination as those with peanut allergies. Aaliyah's words blend with tears. In these very moments, she is pulled back. Yeah, I don't want to read this one. I mean, it's just, you know, she's screaming about being in the situation again. And, you know, even though people around her love her, she's still, like, psychologically back there. Like many victims we met, Aaliyah struggles with dissociative challenges. This is a survival disconnection mechanism that protects the children's psyche during the abuse, which we'll explain later. Aaliyah grew up in a religious settlement in a family with many children. In many community settlements, children wander around alone. After years of hardship deterioration, of sharp deterioration in her mental state, including severe anxiety attacks, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts, several suicide attempts, and here we go. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? You're going to have a website and make it difficult for people to read your fucking shit, huh? To wander around, suicidal thoughts. I developed a curious. She had been raped. The memory is surfacing. Professor Daniel Brown listened to a record in which she describes, said, okay, that's typical. She talks about rabbis who abuse her and control her with statements about having a direct connection with God. The form of conversation is familiar to me as a conversation with women with dissociative identity disorder. I have seen such phenomenon in the clinic quite frequently. Since 1990, I've repeatedly met with children and adults who tell of organized abuse by men who not only sexually abuse them, but also film their acts. Silence, conceal, erase, move. Some abuse occurred in a building and some in a forest, Aaliyah continues. Some in a cemetery and some in a synagogue, and all kinds of unusual places. In the building, you go downstairs and reach a very messy room with many tools, paint cans, and many boards. You know, like in New York, where the tunnels were exposed with the mattress in them and all that, and you actually have a rabbi that is on film saying, of course that's explainable. Sometimes we do rituals down there, and we blah blah. We ask for redemption ritual. Like he says this. The reason why there's a stained, nasty mattress down in the tunnel system, the illegal tunnel system,
Don't worry about it.
is because of rituals that they do. He says it. Do you understand how fucking ridiculous that is? Can you imagine that? Just justifying that shit? In the middle of the room is a bed, more like a wooden table. It seems like there are more rooms there because because there are incidents where I clearly remember being in one room and hearing a child being abused in another. And then I know what they'll do to me. I hear children screaming, crying. It's always a dark place. There are between 6 and 9 men there. They tie me to the bed by my hands and feet, stand in a circle, mutter prayers and blessings. And there's the rabbi who always leads the situation and tells everyone what to do, and everyone listens to him. There's a ceremony, and each one of them grapes me. Sometimes the great rabbi arrives, and then he leads the ceremony. He speaks with God, and God tells him what to do. He puts one hand on my heart and one hand on my genitals, and it hurts when he talks to God. There are times when I scream, and there are situations where I stop because I know they'll hit me in the head. There were cases where I didn't cooperate or cried, and I knew I deserved punishment. Probably the most fucked up line in this whole thing. Right? Because she's recounting her story and she's telling you she knew she deserved punishment for crying. Like, that's just so unfucking real, man. I just can't. It drives me because I want to save these children. Gotta find the spot again. There were various punishments, bizarre things. God damn it. They put my head in a bucket of water for a long time, beat me with a cable. There's also a ritual bath, a mikvah, and purification, where they clean me thoroughly. You know what that means, right? And then immerse in a water source and explain to me that I need to be pure. The mikvah is built before the temple. The mikvah is every month when the woman menstruates. When she thinks she's done, she goes to the mikvah. They check her, and if there's still blood, she has to wait a week. But when they check her and there's no blood, she then immerses into the mikvah. It's this stale, stagnant-ass water that
Pass the gonorrhea around.
Right, that has to be like, it's ritually filled. Like, you can't just have pipes leading to it. Although, you're not supposed to be able to fill it with tap water, but you can top it off with tap water. Which means, after so long, evaporation, it's all tap water. But you go ahead and tell yourself what you need to, you goofball.
Well, by then it's gross tap water.
It's so disgusting to think about what the fuck that thing is.
Herpes, everything in there.
Just the disgusting soup. And the women, so when the women do it, and then after they get purified, they have to run home so their men will have sex with them. Because that's when the men have sex with them, is when they know they're clean. Because they're not clean otherwise.
Otherwise they're nasty, dirty bitches.
Vaginers. Gross. There was one time they took out a Torah scroll and opened it to the binding of Isaac. One of them read, and they simply did what they were reading to me. They tied me up, put a knife to my neck, and God said to lower the knife. Then there was... Great. There was an event in a cemetery, and I saw a... Fuck. This is the time where it starts really fucking up. Nope, guess not yet. We're still good. There was an event in a cemetery, and I saw a place with stones that had many words written on them. And then they told me to enter a hole, and they covered me with sand. It's not clear how I remained alive. Noya was sexually abused by educational figures who cared for her in early childhood. These people, she says, invited additional men into the setting who participated in ritual abuse. The abusers acted with severe violence and used extreme and strong sensory stimuli, which helped her consciousness to split. I always had symptoms of PTSD. I was hospitalized. I had nightmares, eating disorders, flashbacks, small fragments, moments from the abuse, but I didn't understand the meanings. In adolescence, dissociative attacks began to look like epileptic seizures. When I would return home, beaten and bruised from abuse, for example, with a head injury or blood from my lips, I said I had had a seizure on the stairs. And her parents knew what the fuck it was. Oh no, I support the Palestinians. The only Semitic people in the process are the Palestinians and the Iranians, and I support their rights. I support the Semitic people wholeheartedly. Anti-Semitism is a different thing, and I'm proud of mine. I'm proud to be anti-supremacy. We already talked about it earlier. Semitism is policy or predisposition favorable to Jews, and I don't believe anybody should have policy or predisposition favorable to them. They're not special in that regard. I'm not saying just them. I'm saying nobody. Nobody should be given any sort of policy or predisposition favorable to you because you believe and Sky Daddy said you should get it. That's pretty convenient that you get it, huh? The book you wrote says you get it. That must be nice, huh? Maybe I should write a book. Call it Gaianism. You guys can be Gaialists. And we'll have our own tax-free status. And we'll get to make decisions and vote on shit. And we'll get to abuse people if we want to. Which also means if we don't want to, we won't. And we can make people's lives better. If we can abuse people, we can make their lives better. So we'll go with that route. Sound good to you? I am a hater and I'm full of hate. Absolutely. Full of fucking hate. I absolutely hate pedophiles, genocide, supremacy, control, all that shit. I hate all that shit. It's crazy. You don't? You don't hate pedophilia? Go figure. A friar's gonna come on here and claim that hating pedophilia is wrong. Gee, I wonder why. I mean, you guys hear what I'm reading you, right? You actually reading you something that is so far beyond Goyim, like it had its own bar mitzvah, right? This is an Israel Hayom article. This is not anything outside of 100% their control. So to be mad at me for reading this, man, sounds like you're deflecting, man. Sounds like you're scapegoating, man. I mean, it's scapegoating. It's an scapegoat. I don't know how it escapes since it's always like, bah. Maybe it's because it can chew its way through everything. Those are scapegoats, man.
I just can't sometimes.
I just ooze hate, yes. But repeatedly screaming, we need to protect the Jewish children. Man, I am a hateful motherfucker, you know?
So hateful.
I'm still amazed that I was able to create this, infiltrate Israel Hayom, have them write this article. All the other things that I'm able to do.
I mean, you're pretty amazing.
That completely validate this shit.
You are pretty amazing.
It's weird when I say I hate pedophilia, you acknowledge that, I say I hate pizza. Well, I hate that. You're right. I do hate the pedophilia aspect of what you're talking about. I'm glad you can acknowledge it in that regard. That sort of kills the notion that it has anything to do with just pizza, doesn't it?
I hate that you guys have ruined pizza for most guys.
It's like gays and rainbows.
Yes. Fucking now you take a pizza, first rainbows, now we get
Right.
losing pizza. Fuck you. I like pizza.
No, you shouldn't say that.
I know, because now it means pedophiles. It's delicious,
So if somebody
Dome
was
with
talking,
cheese and sauce.
if somebody was talking about pedophilia, how disgusting pedophilia is, and somebody walked in and was like, "Well, I like pizza."
Now see that. Yeah. See? Y'all have ruined pizza.
It's a completely different thing. Oh, let's see. No one asked too many questions, and at an older age, when the abuse ended, that 12, 13, because she's going to get married off then.
That's old.
Yeah, 13 is when they get married off. Noya consciously decided to forget. I told myself nothing happened. I had a mantra I repeated continuously. Silence, conceal, erase, move, disguise, turn off, conceal, throw away, disconnect, forget. And I really did forget for several years. I mean, you say, oh yeah, that's bullshit. She's been doing this her whole life.
Oh, you definitely bury that shit.
But she's learned how to cope and bury and mantra her way through things her entire existence here. During those years, Noya fulfilled dreams and established life, blah, 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 and then the shit started coming back. Dissociative identity disorder, autism recognized. Today we're discovering dissociative identity more common than we previously thought. Many of those affected are not diagnosed. Either they hide it or they acknowledge it. They don't acknowledge it to themselves. Many are hospitalized and receive incorrect diagnoses. This is a mechanism created as a defense response to intense physical and emotional pain. When there is no possibility or it's dangerous to fight or flee, the parts of the experience are extracted from the accessible stream of consciousness. When the abuse is repetitive, a system of identities may be formed that carries the traumas while disconnecting the memories and feelings associated with them from normal consciousness. Like, this isn't an isolated phenomenon. This is a well-known, well-documented thing.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys can all look back at traumas in your life and see a glimpse of that.
No.
Everybody does that to some extent.
Actually, when you know that happens is when somebody brings something up and you go, what are you talking about? And they go, what are you talking about? We were there. You did this and you did that and this. And you go, nah, I don't. You must be having me confused with somebody else.
That's why I think my friend Kelly from middle school was being abused by her brother and her stepfather. She has no recollection of that chunk of her life. She doesn't remember me. Her and I were thick as thieves. She doesn't remember our friend Jessica or our friend Sam. She doesn't remember anything from that time. I think she was...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Based on testimonies from around the world over the years, there are situations where abusers are aware of the possibility of producing such a disorder in young children. One patient underwent repeated sadistic attacks with the abusers intending to cause a split in consciousness so she wouldn't remember and wouldn't tell. When she was an adult, she even met one of the attackers in a mall and didn't recognize him. Okay, so this is the part where it gets really fucked up, right? As if evil itself has an intuition. Listen to how, instead of blaming this on the source, right? This article has already tried to cover it up by saying that parents hear their children say they were abused and go, oh, you're lying. That the police don't have enough funding. And that, oh, this happens all over the world, so don't just look. Why aren't you talking about the Muslims? Why aren't you talking about something else? Take your meds. But now we're going to get to what I believe is one of the more fucked up parts in this. Because this is the explanation that the good guy is supposedly doing. Instead of saying, hey, maybe we have a fucking issue here with our system itself, that all of these people are interpreting it one specific way, they're going to say this shit. Watch how fucked up this part is. There's an atmosphere of excitement as if we're performing the most sacred and elevated act in the world, Nurit says. I was very young. In the images, people and verses appeared. I have scars on my genitals. They injured and damaged them. It involved tremendous cruelty, abuse, humiliation, control, and ownership, all disguised as religion and elevated spiritual work. Dude, again, I'm putting this together for you with multiple sources. This is a proper investigation. Unlike Naomi Elkins, where you have one doctor testimony after 11 hours of interview, I'm providing you with multiple sources, multiple accounts. If you're watching and you give a shit, like, share, and sub. Look how they're fucking censoring me. Somebody with 8 viewers and 23 likes, 2,500 plus subscribers, 8 viewers, and 23 likes. Where does that make sense? Why would social media work that way? Isn't it the more likes you get, the more reach you get, the algorithm realizes, oh, you're getting a lot of likes. More people will want to see this. Isn't that how this shit's supposed to work? Why is Ian Carroll allowed to do it when he tells you to believe in Jesus and don't blame the cult? You'll never hear Ian Carroll talk about this story. You'll never hear Stu Peters or anybody. I've never heard anybody else talk about this story. I'm the only one that talks about it. And that's because I happened to read the news that day, April 23rd, 2025, because I used to read Israeli news all the time just to see what would pop up, and this thing happened to pop up. Why isn't anybody else talking about this? Yeah, the genocides are bad, the wars are bad, the attacks are bad, but what's the source of all of that hostility, anger, genocidal thought? And it's this. But nobody's talking about this. This is how you create an entire country of psychopaths, an entire worldwide network of psychopaths. You abuse them and abuse them and abuse them as young children, and then when they age out, you force them to abuse a child so they can get their redemption. Otherwise, they're just this sin-filled human being, all broken and battered and been through the fucking ringer. Hey, do you want to feel better? Well, you can just transfer all of that sin onto that child. Go do that. Go transfer your sin. Now you'll feel better. Completing the loop while also ensuring, what are they going to tell on themselves now? Yeah, I did it too? No. But now you have people that can walk around going, oh, you poor baby, your house was bombed. You can go. Were you abused from 3 years and 1 day old to 12 years and 1 day old, and then once you got a little older, forced to abuse a child for your own redemption? No? Okay, well, go fuck yourself. No, it's not a free $3.8 billion a year. Do you know what we have to do? What we're put through to receive that free housing, that free education?
No, thank you. I don't want it.
Well, that's what you would say if you weren't raised in that environment to begin with.
Keep your fucking money in your house. I'll live in a tent.
But this is how they do it. This is how they, like I say, it comes down to we need to protect the Jewish children first and foremost, you guys. They're at the most risk in this world. And it seems just so fucked up for me to say it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, well, that's how we fix the rest of the problems. If we nip it in the bud, because we can't just, obviously if we eliminate the cult itself, things will get better. But we're not, and they can't say that. So let's fix the cult. If we have to deal with the cult, let's fix the cult. And you know what? There are all kinds of other things in this world that all sorts of other people are focusing on. I don't need to focus on all those other things. You know how when Black Lives Matter came out and they were like, hey, cops are shooting unarmed black men. And everybody was like, oh, yeah? Well, what about black on black crime? What about the black education system? What about black mothers? What about black religion? What about black, blah, 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 blah? And they were like, wait, what? No. Unarmed men, black men are being killed by police. That's what our focus is on. All those other things can also be dealt with, but You start spreading yourself too thin by going after all these things, and you're going to miss some shit. I'm going to stay focused on this one thing. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay focused on this one thing. And all the other people that want to fix other things, fix other things. I want to fix all those other things too. This is how I think we fix them. If you have a better solution, by all means, bring it. But I'm trying to fix things down at the core. I want to stop this problem before it starts instead of dealing with it after the fact. Let's see. It's appropriating God to serve urges. This remains central to my traumas. While such specific events may happen once, the abuse itself becomes a way of life, creating enormous internal destruction. So yes, the damage and implications. Through his extensive experience, Boaz has encountered dozens of cult survivors harmed in ceremonies, but also home-based ceremonies, typically by fathers or uncles. Over the years, employed ceremonies they invented, incorporating religious text and content. So again, this is where this article makes me sick. We're supposed to believe that they all just sort of invent the same shit based on what they're reading. What does that then tell you about what they're reading? If they can all, I don't know, intuit? Is that what intuition is, when you're intuiting something? Is that how you say it?
No. To intuit something? I don't think that's the word.
Well, to intuition is just ridiculous.
Manifest it?
No. Manifesting is a different thing.
To intuitively
interpret. It's an interpretation. According to him, this represents consciousness control. The child is forced into a tailored role if told, for example, they came to repair the world and must therefore suffer, or that suffering must intensify beyond what they've already learned to survive because they are the chosen victim. The child is told that if not they, another family child would be chosen for the sacrifice. This is by their parents. Remember, their fathers and shit. Ceremonies include invented prayers, mutterings, and songs with religious texts. So they all just intuitively create these same songs and religious texts. And really? That's amazing. I believe that through these mantras and mutterings, not only does the victim disassociate, but the abuser creates disassociation for himself. Yeah, he couldn't just be a sick piece of shit. He's disassociating. Because he's a friar man, and no friar actually wants to be doing this to children. Like, this is the good guys are saying this kinds of shit. This is where it drives me crazy. Immediately afterward, he can attend synagogue and blow the shofar. There are cases of institutionalized organizations worldwide where techniques for creating disassociation in children follow consistent patterns. I think the abusers I encountered through my patients were diabolically sophisticated, but in my opinion, they didn't learn these methods from some manual. They developed them through intuition. That's his professional opinion.
He is the professional.
Mm-hmm. It's as if evil itself has intuition. In one case, a patient underwent massive abuse that caused physical injury, extreme humiliation, and contempt. Even today, decades later, she believes she is a creature from another world. Though intellectually, she understands this isn't true, emotionally, she feels destined for the role. Consider how easy it is to tell a child they were born from the power of impurity and therefore must suffer. These mantras, I don't understand how, I get what you say. Like, it's easy to do it. It's not easy I can't imagine lying to a child like that. I had a hard time lying to my kids about Santa Claus. Especially these mantras penetrate deeply, especially when the child is abused and brought to the brink of death. certainly psychological death, but in several cases I encountered, part of the abuse involved nearly killing the victim before allowing them to survive. Allowing them to survive. You create this bond, like, hey, I saved your life. Push the person out in the street and then pull them back. Hey, I saved your life.
Right.
But with a child, I could have killed you like I did all these other kids, but I let you survive because you're special. It's fucking insane. In such states, consciousness transforms and implanted beliefs become part of one's very essence. Because what creates a stronger bond than nearly dying and then surviving? Bonding to their oppressors. Organized planned ceremony. As we prepared to part, Eden's mother showed photograph. Eden was ran. Flashbacks occurred, memories surfaced, men from the settlement acting together, conducting group rape with extreme violence, drugs, and nudity. Somehow afterwards she returned home, clean and intact. It's unclear how, because she didn't. Her mother ignored it. She filed a police complaint that was subsequently closed. She completely broke down from the experience. She generally felt she was being stalked. There was an entire community here concealing things, and apparently many people have something to hide while others either close their eyes or are too weak to act. Eden spoke about 6 men participating in the rape. Such things require secrecy. Fighting an entire community is incredibly difficult, and some people simply cannot bring themselves to believe it. Many women we interviewed described ceremonies involving supposed reenactments of biblical stories. The Binding of Isaac reenactment, for example, appears in 5 separate testimonies. 5 of the 10 talk about the same ritual that they just intuitioned into existence, huh? They weren't taught this. It just happened. I think I'm going to watch Yentl today and see if there was anything to be found in that movie. That's a good idea. If you guys can actually sit through any of those on the roof, I just don't think I could do it. But if you can do it, see if you can find some shit. I bet you seeing it through today's eyes, see it differently. Newer describes, they tied me up, creating an imitation of the Binding of Isaac, though it wasn't exactly the same because I'm female. They took a specific symbol as they used it as they wanted and connected it to a form of circumcision. Again, FGM, female genital mutilation. Nothing in Jewish law requires performing the Binding of Isaac this way. Nevertheless, I sensed they were reading text, reciting passages, conducting a deliberately organized planned ceremony with a specific process. It serves to legitimize evil. So again, how does the doctor have the on this shit when this broad is saying, look, this is what happened? They were reciting passages, conducting a deliberately organized planned ceremony. That's not intuition. Arnon, a senior, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is where we get to fucking A, man. Leading him to, according to him, these individuals distort Kabbalistic sources through misinterpretation. I believe they're psychopaths using Kabbalah to objectify and exploit the victims. When Kabbalic forces combine with sexual exploitation desires, that creates an explosive situation. Look, if I write a religion, if I create a way of life, I don't create loopholes in it for pedophilia. I specifically condemn it and say there's no fucking reason for it. You get killed for doing it. Not, oh, you owe the fucking family 50 shekels now. Oh, that person now belongs to you. This kind of shit is insane. They're not twisting anything. They're just reading it how it says. Anyone truly God-fearing should carefully avoid this movement. I am certain similar practices exist in secular context. Spiritual frameworks can be misappropriated to justify deviations from norms while demanding blind faith. They deliberately choose synagogues, confronting our most sacred spaces. They perform these acts while wearing holy garments, pronouncing divine names, exploiting the concept that certain individuals are permitted, even commanded to behave contrary to normal expectations. How could they have misinterpreted it? How could so many people misinterpret the same thing over and over again? But the notion that prohibitions don't apply to specific individuals is completely foreign to authentic religious tradition. Blah, blah, blah. For survival, children often bond with their attackers out of necessity. It resembles Stockholm Syndrome. They believe their abusers claim that they serve some cosmic purpose. Part of the catastrophic healing process comes when, after 30 years, a person suddenly realizes, what? I never had a special role? It was simply evil? This creates an enormous, potentially suicidal break because it collapses their entire worldview. Their inner faith is now completely stolen. That's fucking insane when you think about it. Right? That's insane. Because again, that's how you've justified. That's how you've survived your whole life, by saying, I have all these memories, I have all this horrible trauma, I'm mutilated, I can't have good relationships, I'm this, that, and the other. But it was all to keep the world going. If I hadn't have gone through that, the world would have ended. Because that's the kind of shit they tell them. And instead, they realize, like, that's all bullshit. I was just a fucking pawn. I was just used by sick people. That erases that purpose. That's such a dangerous thing with religion. And so many people suffer from that without realizing it. You think everyone has a purpose. Everyone God has a plan for everyone. Everyone has and then you never reach that purpose, so you always feel let down. 5 likes or 5 watchers, 25 likes. 6 watchers, 25 likes. Totally makes sense, right? Like, share, sub. Even though likes clearly mean less viewers, I guess. Let them know that we're still here. We're still fighting. So much fucking pain. Noyo reports she was in a cult that conducted organized ritual child abuse until she reached late childhood. Explains that there exists some agreements with the gods. The entire theory revolves around correction. The phrase the great correction recurs constantly. To achieve the great correction, one must suffer, primarily because suffering purifies and advances redemption. The gods I remember are Baal, Peor, and Ashtoreth. Ashtoreth, I don't know. Ashtoreth. How you say that? Ashtoreth. Ashtoreth. I vaguely recall statues. I remember them saying Our Lord Peor and Our Lady Ashtoreth. Which makes this truly disturbing is that these were observant Jews who meticulously follow Jewish commandments, minor and major alike, not as a performance. They genuinely adhere to the Torah commandments according to Orthodox tradition. They express contempt for Reform Jews while simultaneously, in a parallel existence, practicing literal idol worship. This is Lakewood. This is the ones you see everywhere. I had a connection to something I can't quite explain. God damn it. I possess both strong faith and innocent connection to God, which they... Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then it just starts asking questions, and, it talks about how, the paper is going to do good things, and nobody does anything. That shit just disappeared. I'm the only one that talks about it. You guys should be talking about it now. You don't have the excuse. You had the excuse before, you didn't know about it. Now you know about it. It's there. The link will be in the description. First link will be the music, www.the-bilderberg, group.com. It's free to download, free to listen to. All we ask is that you share it with someone. Please, just have somebody else listen. Click download. It'll ask you how much you want to pay. If you want to donate, that's awesome. But all you got to do is damn it, I'm distracted. She's about to take her shirt off.
No, she's buttoning it up.
Oh. See, my head goes to off. Just click download. It'll ask you how much you want to pay. Click 0 and it's free. The second link is going to be Hollywoodism, the most important film ever made. It'll explain to you why you as a dumb goyim think the way you do. Why you believe in George Washington, why you think the earth is round, all of that stuff is explained in Hollywoodism. The third link is the link to Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness. You can read it all for yourself. I skipped over a lot of it because it's kind of the jargon stuff, the explanation stuff, and it takes a lot longer. But read it all. I encourage you to. And there's going to be a bunch of other receipts in the description, from links to Naphtali Bennett acknowledging that Wikipedia is controlled by Israel, so that everything, especially stuff that has to do with them, is balanced and Zionist in nature. There's a link to the Havara Agreement, so you can learn about the Havara Agreement of 1933, which destroys your entire poor Jews, it's all fake. 1933, they signed the Nazis and the Zionist federations. I know you heard about the Zionist federations growing up, didn't you?
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Right?
No.
You heard about that?
No.
No Zionist federations?
Nope.
The Zionist federations. What about the Jewish agency? Did you hear about the Jewish agency that controlled the Palestine Bank?
No.
Nope. Well, those organizations, along with the Nazi government, signed. Hitler took over, saying that not just saying, providing for 60,000 German Jews to move, 60,000 plus, to move to Palestine and start colonizing Palestine. Long before the whole, Holocaust narrative, and they deserve blah, 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 World War II, 1948, Nakba, blah, blah. No, 60,000 were paid to move to Palestine and start up their shit. Huge money laundering. Havara Agreement. Why haven't you heard about it? Just like the federations. The Secure Community Network, connecting 95% of all American friars, giving them information before anybody else has it. The liaison between the community and law enforcement. That's why when those cops showed up to get Naomi Elkins, there was a huge, that's part of it. Again, all those men were there, and it just so happened that the babies were drowned. Didn't that sound familiar to you? Go check out everything I have posted, and then you can tell me what I'm wrong about. Even though it's all their shit. It's all official their stuff. You tell me how I'm wrong. Have yourself a great day. Most importantly, you pedophiles, fucking kill yourself. Wait for it. Okay.